Oh, it says there it goes. Now we're officially live. Hello, everybody. How are you all doing this evening? Look, we got the cream of the crop up here. I'm going to go all the way to the beginning. Whoop. Oh, guess who was not streaming?
StreamYard was here first.
Actually, it was Miss Karen Radford. What's going on, Karen? Woo-hoo. Let the fun begin. She said, honey, don't you know it? We got
Tiger.
Shadia and Katie, Shannon. Shadia, girl, you saying hello to everybody. Oh, there is Miss Enamor Amy. Amy, you are officially a moderator on the channel now. Yes, you are.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Our Amy girl's
Yep.
good at that. Yep. Awesome.
That means I like you. No, I'm just
That means he trusts you and he knows you.
Oh, yeah. And Amber Amy's legit. She's one of my old-time, long-time ISN homies. Love her. And she's an admin for ISN as well.
Yes, she is.
She knows her way around things. Yes.
Oh, no doubt. And we've got colorful vintage throats. Miss Sarah Lee, lady, how are you doing tonight?
Hi, Sarah Lee.
Oh, you
My
guys.
doppelganger, Sarah Coleman.
Yes, I know. That used to mess with me so bad.
When I first started watching you guys, I was like, is somebody playing a joke on me? Like, there's another Sarah Coleman? Oh my God, this is cool.
You guys, we got trouble.
Trouble.
Randy Hyman is here. Everybody better watch out.
Randy got a reindeer in the mail today.
Really?
It's shocking.
Can you just imagine that? She's got a whole herd there in the house. How is everybody doing tonight? Jennifer and Stephanie and Patricia. Oh, everybody's favorite Tiger.
Tiger, what's up, man?
I'm so glad that you all are here tonight. It is going to be another epic night of Vintage Rescue Squad. And I think what we'll go ahead and do is we'll just go ahead, we'll go around, we'll say hello, we'll introduce ourselves in case you are unfamiliar. Oh, look at Mother Tuckers is here again tonight. And guess what they're doing? They're posting on that Instagram. I see you, Jason and Tina, and I saw those fun faces. Don't think I did.
You know what, Mother Tuckers? I'm gonna go and follow you right now. I don't know if I'm following you on Instagram.
Mother Tuckers. Look, he walked out the door. His neighbor said, "Hey, Jason. Do you think that these are worth anything?" Look, there was a giant Amberina. Ellie Smith swung vase. I believe there were 2 green Fenton hobnail swung vases. There were 2 smaller. Yes, right there it is.
Following.
Yup.
No. That's awesome.
Yes. So, sorry, I got distracted. So why don't we just go ahead? Hey, Michelle. Let's go around. Let's just do our introductions, and then we'll just dive right into it. How about that?
I'm blurry.
Jamie. Oh, it downpoured in California? Girl, are you okay? I know you Californians get a little freaked out. It starts raining.
People freak out over the rain.
All right, so Misty, do you want to start it off, and then we'll go Daniel, then we'll go Sarah, and then I'll go last. How about that?
Sure. I am Misty and I am tired. I just got home from Illinois. I've been driving all day, been shopping all day. I didn't get much sleep. We lost electricity in the hotel. It's been an ordeal kind of trip, let me just tell you. Stayed in a funeral home.
That's the best part.
Didn't know it, but it did. Anyway, that's the whole thing. So I'm here and I'm tired, but I'm here.
She's a champion.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you soldiered through, girlfriend.
What was I supposed to say? Something else?
I mean, that's Misty. That's the Junker Vintage Hunter.
Oh yeah, that's me. That's my channel on YouTube and Instagram.
Misty, are you okay, girl? We're gonna need to coffee.
I'm just fine. Listen, you put Misty in a dark room with nobody else to talk to, she goes a little stir crazy. I'm walking up and down talking to people in the hallway.
Let alone the fact that you actually slept in a funeral home, which is a whole conversation in and of itself.
I
Mhm.
mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I was a little worried for her because she had those old strip lights there on the side of the bathroom. I was like, girl, don't take a shot. Do not. I am concerned. Like, it sounded like a bolt of electricity was going to come out at her. Like, I was a little like,
I was a little worried about that shower to begin with.
Oh, that's hysterical.
with the bar of soap left over from the last occupant.
You with a hair on it.
Who does that?
Did it really? Are you serious?
Somebody else's bar of soap that they just no.
They didn't throw out the bar of soap from the last person?
No. And it was
Oh.
like this big.
Gross.
Listen, Stephanie,
Things stick to soap.
our first question of the night. Wait, your mid-century modern Airbnb was a funeral home.
Not only one funeral home, but 2 funeral homes, apparently. And I didn't know this. The first night there, I was reading the little binder because I was like, oh, I want to read about the history. No. So I ditched it and I went to a hotel.
I don't blame you. I'd have probably done the same thing. So, or I would have just not slept a wink. Knowing me, I'm too cheap to go get a hotel. I'd have probably stayed there and been like, well, paranormal activity where
But I'm okay if I'm with somebody, but if I'm by myself.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I'd have been out of there too by myself.
And if I was there by myself last night in a tornado with the sirens going off with no electricity, sitting there all by myself in a dark funeral home, no, I would die.
Yeah.
I know. Wait, hello, Carrie.
Doing this yesterday, so I wouldn't have to hide in the closet again from a tornado, like I did the first time I was.
That's right, Daniel. That's right.
At least this time we missed it by one day.
I already deal with Mr. Webb, but I know Mr. Webb. You know, I know him. I didn't know there have been lots of people in that funeral home that's been in there.
So, Daniel, how about you? How about you say hello to everyone?
Next.
I can't.
Where did you sleep last night, Daniel?
I slept comfortably in my own bed after the tornadoes were done.
Mm-hmm.
Misty took the brunt of it. They didn't get up this way, thank goodness.
That's
So
good.
my name is Daniel. My channel is Tacky as Me. I do life sales. I am now, hopefully, officially a full-time reseller.
Yay, that's exciting.
Hopefully, we will not be selling out the back of our Hyundai Accent before it's over.
No, you're going to do it, Daniel. I have so much faith. So does everybody. Everybody here has so much faith in you.
You've got this. If I can do this full time, you can do this full time.
I mean,
I'm telling you, I made the switch this last year myself, and you've got this.
I'm going to give it a whirl. We'll see what happens.
That's exciting.
it's
There's
very
something about the brooch. So there's that. And then I also have brooch of the day is that.
Beautiful.
get it.
It's
Looking
a big calla lily broachy thingy.
So pretty.
Love it. I love the one on your hat. It's so colorful.
It came from Walmart.
Really?
It was in the
Daniel,
sewing
giving
section.
me all the
I'm
secret.
like, what?
There you go. That's right, Chris. Let's do that. How about let's
Yes.
make that happen tonight?
How many subscribers do you have right now, Daniel?
I think I'm at 891 now. I finally got over that 880 hump. I was there
You guys, 891. We need 109 people.
So close.
I
Guys,
can
we
see
can
how
do
many
this
people
tonight.
are here. Do that. Let's do this. This man is becoming a full-time reseller.
Yes.
He is making video content and he is not getting paid to do it. Let's give this man a little extra something here. Let's get him to 1,000. Let's get those watch minutes in, you guys, for it. Let's do this tonight. Let's make it happen for him.
Everybody go and do it
Thank
right
you
now.
so much, because I am really tired of pimping myself out. Thanks for
We'll
pimping
be
me out.
here out. We'll be
Well,
here.
honey, it's a whole different kind of pimping yourself out now. I mean, come on.
Yes. Go subscribe to Daniel.
Let's make it happen, you guys. Let's make it
Let's make it
happen.
happen tonight. And so we can all, so if we make it happen tonight, then Daniel, what happens after you reach 1,000 subscribers? What are we going to do?
Well, we're going to have a party on my channel. I don't know how many of you know about Miss Dolores from England. Dolores Miss Damn Jewelry. She lives in England, but she is a Texas gal.
Yep.
She has sent me quite a while back a caftan for me to wear during my 1,000 subscriber, and I'm going to do a giveaway. She'll be on my channel. We'll be having a party. She sent me fake Chanel glasses.
Fabulous.
910 now, Daniel.
Oh, guys, you tickle my little tacky heart.
Get it. Only
Get it.
90 more, you guys. 90 more. I can see. We only need like 70% of the people watching right now. If you are not subscribed, it is absolutely free. And to make this super easy on you, if you just put the description box down below, guess what? Everybody's channel is linked down below. I made it super easy. Just hit that link, hit subscribe. That's all you have to do. We're still going to be here. Oh, and by the way, everybody's Instagrams are also linked down below. Yes. Sarah's sister, how about you?
926.
Oh my gosh, look at that. Like literally, it's going. We're doing it.
If we get him to 1,000 subscribers tonight, what are we gonna do? We gotta do something tonight. What could we do?
Sing a song, the four of us together.
What could we sing? We could sing
For He's a Jolly Good Fellow.
For He's a Jolly Good Fellow.
Yeah, I can.
And I don't know, what else can we do?
I mean, nothing that we could air on YouTube. I mean,
yay, Mary, go, Mary. Bring out the
only
liquor.
60 away now, you guys. That is amazing.
Thank you, Wolves. Thank you, Wolves. Thank you so much.
You know what? If we get him to 1,000, then Michael and I will both wear a costume tomorrow for our live sale.
Okay.
There you go.
The entire sale?
I'll be able to watch it. I'm working from home now.
Oh yes,
47.
Pam Avery said we have to sing "Waiting for the Stop, Waiting for the Stop, Waiting for the Stop, 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 Waiting for the Stop."
I was hoping we could sing like "Fergalicious," so delicious. No, but that's probably going to go into
in
the
the
copyright
gym,
thing.
just working on his fitness.
Be my witness, Daniel. Okay.
My lumps, my lumps, my lovely lady lumps.
My brooch, on the top and on the front.
Oh my!
Check it out.
Oh my goodness!
963.
We got this.
You are so awesome.
37. Look, don't hold out trying to be the number 1,000. Like, it's all good. Every individual is important. So doesn't matter who's number 1,000.
Thank you. I'm Sarah. I'm the traveling button. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and go subscribe to Sarah's channel too.
Sarah, do you know how many you were at?
I think I'm at like 6 or 8. I can't remember. I need to go look. Let's see. I will do that, as a matter of fact.
Patty, I will commit to it. 1,000. I have it. You all know. I bought it.
And I will wear that clown mask that Sam and Sarah sent me.
I am at 623, which is so great and so appreciated because I have not posted a ton of content. I will get there eventually, but for me, it's probably going to be more after the holidays that I'm going to be able to start working on my YouTube. I'm swamped right now.
We can get to 823. I think we can get to 823.
I am grateful for, thank you for the love. I so appreciate it. And I typically am a seller on Instagram. But I am, we've gotten to collaborate and all got to know each other. And it's been really cool. So I love this community and I love seeing you guys come on over to Insta and find us there too. So good stuff.
It's been a really, you know what, and I do have to speak to this, but I think that it has been a really rewarding experience personally as well as professionally. Like it really truly has. And Daniel, I am so glad to see that you are up on Instagram selling and Sarah has been on your channel. I mean, it's just it that to me is really what it is about. And I think that a lot of people, there is of course some hesitancy. Most of us can be a little cautious, let's say, when it comes to change because we're not quite sure what the outcome is going to be. But at the end of the day, life is nothing but what we make of it at the end of the day. So, it's just, I don't know. I think that, we have brought new sellers and new community members, different content, different items for sale, different voices. And I never know that that can be a bad thing. It can be trying at times. Let me not lie. I know that it can be trying at times. But at the end of the day, I think it's that much more powerful, strength in numbers. And the more of us that we are and the stronger that we are, the bigger that we are, the better that we will be. I need you too.
Well, and in our communities, I feel like the YouTube selling community and the Instagram selling community are both pretty established, and people know who you guys are. People know who we are. When you hear ISN, people generally know what the deal is. And yeah, the community collaboration is so awesome. And that doesn't just go for us as resellers, but that goes for all of you as viewers, as watchers, as buyers, as customers, as friends. It is awesome. And I'm grateful. I'm just happy to be here.
Well, I want to thank Misty and Michael both because I would never have discovered the people from the Instagram community except for you guys.
Yeah.
To meet Sarah and Susie, Mid-Century Maven, we've
Love
had
her.
a sale together. I mean, and now that I have a new phone,
I know, Daniel, I'm
it
super
can
excited.
handle Instagram sales because I felt so sorry for Miss Sarah when she had me on her channel over on Instagram. It was horrid. I was so
Daniel, it wasn't horrid, honey. It was just technical difficulties. It was literally the phone, which again, all of our watchers and buyers understand the deal. We've all been there with the phone not cooperating at some point. We've
everybody
all
was wonderful to me too. I mean, it was I just felt bad that I almost kind of knew. See me in a cafeteria. I can't wait. I'm ready to be free.
He's never going to take that caftan off. He's going to
I
wear
love
it
it.
forever.
That's right.
And
I'm going to be
Daniel-
Mrs. Roper 24 hours a day.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. I love Mrs. Roper.
I'm at work now. I go walk around my house. I'm at work.
But yeah, I feel like, with the communities that we've gotten to collab with, we've all kind of branched out in our own ways. And I'm still mainly on Insta, but I have a Wednesday sale that started with Amy's Rock and Pop Shop with Wicked Good Winnage.
I mean, okay, girl.
Wicked Good Vintage. Luckily, I can laugh at myself. And yeah, so it's neat because Daniel's going to be there. There he is. Daniel's going to be there with us on Wednesday. So that's something fun to watch out for.
Immediately following my sale, you just go right on over to Sarah's
Exactly.
sale.
It's right after Misty's Wednesday
right
sale.
there. Yep.
And I'm so excited because I know this camera will hold up.
Yes.
Hey, you are a mess.
She's a super
Whatever it
sleuth.
takes. Whatever. Jamie said, whatever it takes. She got the memo. Mhm.
And see, we had
Oh,
Amy said, I would have never found Michael and Misty without the Instagram collaborations. Daniel, your Instagram sale was just fine. It was not as bad as you thought.
I just felt bad because, I
You know
kept-
what?
Yeah.
That's how it goes sometimes, and that is okay. And ours Wednesday is gonna rock. So, and if you want to wear your caftan, I'll wear mine too.
Hi. I don't have one.
Well,
Well, we may have to get you one, Michael Todd.
No, we're good. We're good.
Roomy.
I have
Roomy, comfy, fabulous.
I have
Yeah.
several
There goes
caftan
Scaredy
and
Cat. You know what?
Caftans are the greatest.
I'm going to tell you right now, if some redhead from England sends me a caftan and says you're going to wear this during your thousands, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
That's right.
But I
Listen,
do
if
like those
Dolores tells
ones.
you
Like,
you're going to do, if Dolores tells you you're going to do something, you're going to do it. You are going to do it.
I like the. Oh, we only have 9 more to go. Yes, yes, yes. Stephanie is saying yes. Allison Marcy introduced me to Michael Todd. And that's what it is about. That's how you build community, right?
Absolutely.
If we all stayed and thrifter not hoarder, I love exactly what you said because it shouldn't. Well, for me, for Misty, for Sarah, for Daniel, for us, it's not a competition. And that is why we
That's
have
right.
gelled so well and so quickly together because we don't view it as a competition because it is really community first. And look, I'm not going to try to be like, oh, we don't get. Well, of course, the stronger the community is, the better the business will be. But if we are putting the community first, and how can we strengthen the community, that benefits us as a business. But
It
we do
does.
that by working together and not against one another. That's foolishness.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people don't agree with it, and I've had people tell me that I'm crazy, that I'm taking money out of their pockets for promoting other sellers and sales, and I just won't ever not see the benefit from it for everybody. I just won't. I mean, I wish I could do more. I wish I could, I wish I could have everybody that had a YouTube channel that is trying to hit that milestone, that we could say, okay, everybody, let's all get them there. Let's all get, I wish that there was enough time in the day to be able to do that. And I mean, that's kind of the downfall. The more that you grow on YouTube, the less time you have for other things as well. And so that's kind of it can be hard. It can be very hard replying fast back to emails or comments. I feel so bad because I am so behind on my YouTube comments. I'm so behind. I don't always I read every single one. I do. I don't always respond to every single one, but I try to at least acknowledge with a heart or a thumbs up or something that I've seen it and acknowledged it. And I'm just behind. And so it's hard. It can be really difficult.
You know what, Misty? That's
I
really
can
interesting that you said that because that was something I honestly thought of that earlier today, and I'm not entirely sure as to what brought that thought to mind. But it really is, because it is a conversation that I have had with several people in the past about the idea or the concept of somebody changing, if you will. And I think that by change, I think that a lot of people see it's not that they
Sorry,
what?
I'm just like reading the chat. They're like, he only needs 2 more, and I'm just like,
Big 2. We're there. We're there.
Congratulations, Daniel, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a
He's a
jolly good
jolly good
fellow,
fellow.
for he's a
He's a
jolly good
like,
jolly good
fellow
no,
that nobody can
nobody can
deny,
deny.
that nobody can
Can
deny,
deny that
that
nobody
nobody
can
can
deny.
deny. Yes, look, everybody, it's caftan time, Daniel. You want to go get it now? You go right now. You're going to save it for
No,
your
he's gonna make it
Ah,
official.
oh no, I gotta
We
wait for
have
the red. Ooh, she would
That is
not be
fantastic,
happy.
you
no,
guys.
no. There
That
has
is
She's
to
such
be
love.
asleep
people have
right
to be
now.
here.
It's like in the middle of the night over there in England. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, guys, you're making me teary-eyed. Thank you. Here's the power that this community can be. And
That's right,
That's we.
Shelley.
That's
We.
right.
We did it.
We.
Mhm.
And that's just so beautiful. That is the beauty of this community. And I'm so proud to know you all and be a
Mark Daniel
part of.
hit
And
1,000 subscribers.
I remember like when,
Mark's like, what the hell are you doing?
right, we're singing and cheering. But yeah, I remember when I was so intimidated by the fact that YouTube seemed scary and StreamYard seemed scary and all of it to me. You know how you felt, Daniel, the first time you came on Instagram with me? I felt that hard on YouTube because it was a learning curve and the whole opposites. And, it was, but at the same time, I felt comfortable because everyone was so nice.
Yes.
And that, I think, goes a long way. Just being kind and respectful is like awesome.
Yeah.
Gee, Merry Christmas, guys. I didn't think this was going to be what was going to happen tonight.
Daniel party.
Yeah.
Woo, woo, you did it.
Now, here's the deal. I will be having a party, but give me time to plan this out because it will be on Attack like Sunday morning. And I do know for sure that Miss Dolores would not be able to. Plus, I have a live sale. Yeah. So give me time. I'll have to plan it, but I'll announce it. I might
announce it.
Community tab.
Now,
Yes.
here's the thing too, Daniel. This is what happens every time you meet a milestone. It seems like you may wake up in the morning and then you're back down to like 980 something, and then you're like, what? But then you'll get back up there again. But that I just always yell at Mark and say, you are the one. You're unsubscribing to me just to mess with me.
You know what? We hit it here on this show, so no matter what I'm at, I'm going to go ahead and have our party and our giveaway and our caftan. We had proof here tonight, so even if I go down to 500, we'll still do it.
Yeah, no, you won't. But I'm just saying that sometimes it seems like every time you're close to or you're getting ready to meet a certain milestone, then it'll like you'll lose a couple subscribers, but then you get them back right away. But it's just when you look at it again, you're like, no.
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
That's and two, and I guess my big thing is that, Daniel and Sarah, if you're doing it now, but you have the opportunity to really be very engaging with the people that are watching your videos and leaving comments, and you're liking them and replying, because that's how it was like for me. And it's just like, oh, I got the time, I can do this, it's no problem. And then you keep going up, and then all of a sudden you're getting like 200 and 300 comments a video, and you're like,
yep,
I got to go shopping. I got to film. I got to edit. Oh my gosh, I have to go do laundry. I have to eat. I've got to shower. I've got to sleep. All of those normal human-y kind of things you still have to do. And that was the thing that I was going to say is that just be mindful that just because you're not as available as you once were doesn't mean that you're changing, and that doesn't mean that that's a bad thing, and that you have to stand in that success and you have to embrace it. You got to do the best you can, like Misty was saying. You're not going to be perfect, but you know what? Nothing is. Nothing in life is. So congratulations, Daniel. Enjoy it. Do as much as you can, and what you can't, it's okay. You'll get to it.
And I think that it's a great opportunity because you're starting this new journey with becoming a full-time reseller. And so you've got this wonderful, wonderful start, to where this is your gig. So, I mean, you start making more content and you start, maybe you're, after a little bit of time, then you can start making some money off of your AdSense payments too. And that's just helps. I mean, even if your AdSense there for the longest, for several years, my AdSense was like a very low paying part-time job, but it still helps
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of it's a cool thing because you've made this leap into this journey and now you've met this milestone. So I think that's lovely. Sarah, I saw that a fella named Drunk Junk Mantique said he just subbed to your channel.
Well, thanks, honey. Good. My husband is now subscribed to my channel. That's good. That's good. Good, David.
Yeah, that's
Thank
right.
you.
It keeps you off the street.
Keeps you off the street. I love that.
Right.
Oh.
I mean, if he puts that capstan on, he might be able to make a little bit of more money on the street.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we're not the judgy type. So whatever it is that you want to do, live your life. If you ain't out there hurting anybody, then who are we?
Absolutely. Amen to
Mhm.
that. Yes. Thank you guys. I just have to say, all of you that are, because I know I have less than Daniel, and please do not feel like you have got to get me to 1,000 tonight. I just so appreciate all of you subscribing, all of you that have, all of you that already had. Thank you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I so appreciate it. I'm just so grateful. And yeah, that's the sense of community that we have here, and it's really cool. Like, you can't get this other places. And I think that's why I also feel at home on Instagram, and I feel at home with you guys, is everyone is on kind of in the same mindset. I feel like it's genuinely our tribe of
Yeah.
people that understand what we're doing and why we're doing it, and to be able to go from, full-time employment and self-employment for 18 years that we had with vintage as my side gig, to moving into this is full-time this last year, has been a huge learning curve for me. And I'm still working out the kinks with my calendar and
Yeah.
overscheduling myself and over, you know what I mean? Like, I'm still working it out. But for me, the main thing is, did I get my invoices out? Are my customers communicated with? And is my stuff shipped? And David and I are a team, my husband and I, and we work really hard to try to make sure you've had a fun experience buying from us.
And it
Misty's
is.
got the amazing packaging. I've got the husband that wraps everything in 14 layers of bubble wrap. So
The go rapper.
yeah, so we just so appreciate you guys, and all the love.
And Mike Dropper, again, everybody's information is in the description down below to everybody's channel. And to make it even easier for you, Katie Girl here, she's
Yeah.
dropping links to
Yep.
everybody's channels in the chat. So if you're having a hard time finding anybody's channel, Katie can make it even easier for you. Thank you, Katie.
Yeah. Thanks, Katie girl.
That's
And
the
see, that's the thing too. When you as a viewer, when you subscribe to people to reselling channels, to that content, that's going to show YouTube that that's the kind of content that you're interested in. So it's going to suggest other reselling channels that may show up on your feed, and you're not subscribed to them necessarily, but maybe you'll check them out and decide to subscribe to them too. So it will kind of fine tune what shows up in your YouTube feed.
Yay, algorithm.
Yeah. Well, no, and that's the truth. That algorithm is, I have nothing to be thankful for but that algorithm, because it brought me Misty into my life. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
so as much as pain as it can be, there are really good things that can
Wait,
come
I
from
thought you said it brought Misty in my life, as much of a pain as that can be. I thought that was like
As much
that.
of pain as that Misty can
it.
be.
She was like, "Really, Michael? We're gonna do this right
Misty's
now?"
saying, I just slept in a funeral home. Are you saying this to me?
Right. Who knows what I brought home with me?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, thank you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you.
I also want to say, as far as the community, there's some of the greatest people, moderators or other people in the chats and the live sales that always have, like Katie. God bless you, Katie, my fellow brooch lover.
Mhm.
She has talked me through a lot of stuff because I don't understand a lot of technical stuff. I like to learn, but I get very frustrated.
Yeah.
So she has walked me through a lot of stuff, and she's always helpful. And there's several others, um, like Barbie for me and Dolores. And
Yeah.
so,
Well, I think that's a good topic to maybe talk about a little bit,
Okay.
is having moderators, and what does that mean exactly? And I think that there was a point in time, and I don't know if maybe some people don't realize this, but there was a point in time when a lot of channels were making everybody moderators, because there was some issues with people not being who they say they are, ordering a bunch of stuff, and then like the seller would get stuck with all this stuff and then it never got paid for. So it was
Ooh,
kind of a way of vetting.
gotcha.
And you might hear a lot of sellers say you need to be registered before, and I think that's always a good idea. So if you're going to be in attendance at a live sale, if it's your first time there, or if you can't remember, have I ordered something? Have I sent my information? Go ahead and send them your information. And we say at the beginning of every live sale, your actual name, your YouTube name, your full shipping address, and your email address. All that information needs to be sent to the buyer because it just, or to the seller, because it's, you know, we have to know that information in order to get your things. And I know that a lot of people go to different sales, but the whole moderator thing is, I think that you have to be very, very careful because there can be instances where a moderator, while they might be having all of the goodest and best intentions for your channel, they may time somebody out. Mistakes happen. I've done it. Like when the chat is going really quick and you're trying to, you know, time somebody out because it's like an obvious troll, but then you accidentally hit like the name below it, and then you've timed out the wrong person, and then you like have that moment of panic. It's happened. I've done it. A lot of us have done it. But there can be instances when somebody could get timed out because maybe they said something that the moderator found offensive, but the channel, I'm gonna say the channel owner, because that's kind of what it is. The channel owner, because we're our own boss, we're our own business, may not find offensive. But the moderator then has taken it upon themselves to censor something on somebody else's channel. So I think that then that could have been a really good buyer. It could have been a really good buyer, and then that buyer is offended, and it wasn't your fault. It was the moderator's fault, who had the best intentions, but maybe you guys aren't on the same page. So you might notice, and it's something that I've been thinking about doing, and I have done this before, is I've just taken away everybody's moderator ability, and I'm just slowly adding in the people that I have had conversations with.
Right.
To know what my expectations, because it is my business at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. And Tiger is, yes, Tiger. I love Tiger. Tiger is such a wonderful help to me. I just adore him. And
Yes.
he knows, he and I have had these conversations. So he knows what I want. Like if you see someone and like the hot girls are coming on, like the hot girls webcam, that's an obvious troll. You know, that's an obvious. But if it's somebody that maybe has a questionable name, like maybe their name is Long Schlong, I don't know. I'm just gonna say maybe that's their name, all right, because they think it's funny. But they're not like
They could be legitimate, yeah.
He could be a legitimate person. They just have a really odd name, you know. But it isn't our responsibility to judge them by their names. So I think that if you, as a content creator, you have to be very, very careful. Don't just throw out wrenches left and right, because
Yes.
because you could get into some really worrisome situations that you had nothing to do with, but you are going to get blamed for it because it's your
And right there it is, Jean. That's exactly what Jeannie, you know, that's an excellent point, Jeannie, because I think more often, and that just you're just like, what is going on? Is, you know, yes, I've seen folks be accidentally timed out and the chats go wild about it. It can cause an accidental disturbance. And that is exactly right. Because you're literally like, and okay, guys, and this is, you know, I'll show you. This is my mouse cruel. And then all of a sudden everybody's popping up and you're like, okay, let me just set my sale aside here. And okay, what's going on?
Who timed who out? Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like I
Yeah.
said, it is very, when the chats move fast, it does. I've done it. I mean, I've done it on my own channel while I'm having the sale. I've timed the wrong person out. All right, well,
Amy and I did that one day, and we blocked someone that was bidding by accident.
yes.
And we were like, no, it was a total accident. Yeah.
It can happen. All I'm saying is that if you go to someone's sale and you used to be a moderator and then all of a sudden your wrench is gone, please don't take it as
they don't like me,
or they're kicking me out, or it isn't that. It's just, I think that we have to kind of reevaluate, just because we want it to be fair and fun for everybody.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Comments are cracking me up, though. I'm just saying. Comments are killing me. Y'all kill me.
Yes. And you know what? And this is the thing, though, too, you guys, is that there is, I mean, should I say it? I won't put any of my co-hosts here on the spot, but the interesting thing. Let
I
me.
gotta
Okay, when the
go.
sales are 2 to 3 hours, go ahead, Ben. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Thank you.
Of course. Um,
He'll be back.
he'll be back. Daniel will be right back. So, or soon. But
Oh
last week we
my.
had a really
Hey,
good.
that's
What the hell happened?
Michael, why are we so big?
hello.
I
Hello.
was looking down and I didn't
You
even
can see
notice it.
all of my
Hold on.
pores and age
Michael, I can see
spots.
my pores. Make it smaller.
There, boom. Ooh.
Oh.
Oh
What
yeah,
was
Katie
it?
girl, that's a good. Yeah, yeah,
What?
Diana. You can have
Yeah.
too many cooks in the kitchen.
Oh, see, there's
I get
there's
that.
the chat's going fast on me. But yeah,
It's
and I think a lot of it though too is it's. Oh, last week we had a really good conversation though. And if you didn't catch last week's episode of Vintage Rescue Squad, we had Jeffrey from Real Nifty Vintage and Sarah from Thrift You. I would really encourage you. I would
that was a good
highly
one.
encourage you to go back and to watch that conversation, and that is on Misty's channel, and you will find it posted there. It was last Monday. But I just found, and I hope that you guys found the chat to be very informative, and as Misty says, like the veil is being lifted. Um,
That's my hope for this is that
yeah,
it's transparency.
yeah. And it's never a question of we want to put anybody down, nor do we want to question the way that anybody else chooses to conduct their business.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it is their business. The only thing that we are doing is speaking from our own personal perspective. That does not mean that the way that somebody else chooses to do or not do something does not make us right and them wrong. That is not a question. We are just sharing our own experiences, our own thoughts, and our own ideas.
Well,
Yeah.
Misty, go, just go.
well, no, I was just going to say that is one thing though too. If you are doing live sales, one thing that I highly, highly recommend, and mine is not very long. It doesn't have to be, a 10-page document. Make sure that you have your guidelines, your sale guidelines in the description of your video. And if you are a buyer, make sure that you're reading that. It's the same underneath every video. So if you go to any of the past videos, my disclaimer of what my what my rules for my sale are, and it's just payment must be made within 3 days. I mean, it's just those kinds of things, because it never fails. I mean, after we get a sale or after a sale happens, doesn't happen to me very often, but I know that I know it's happened to me in the past, is you'll get an email saying, can I pay you in 3 weeks for the thing that I bought tonight? And you want to be gracious, and you're very thankful that they're buying something from you, but at the same time, we have those policies in play for a reason. So what I'm saying is, make sure that you read those policies before you participate in a live sale.
Well, and I think when you come, and for me, this is what I appreciate, just in a mutual respect with my customer, because when you're bidding, you're entering basically just an agreement with the seller to go ahead and purchase that item. And what I've been running into here and there is I will, go ahead and invoice for my stuff, and then I'll have a couple invoices that sit for a week or 2 or 3, and I see this person bidding on in other sales, but they've not paid me. And as a seller, it just kind of leaves you feeling like, okay. And there are some people that I will make arrangements with that I do know and that have bought from me for years. And I am
Yep.
more than gracious and understanding if something comes up.
Yep.
But for the
Communication.
most part, when you just don't pay me for 3 weeks and there's no communication, that's not really respecting your seller very well. And I'm trying to respect my buyers by getting items out the door in a timely manner and invoicing in a timely manner and trying to have that good business relationship. But I can't do that when someone repetitively, claims items and then, doesn't pay me for a while. And then you end up in that situation. Do I block? Do I not? This person's bought from me forever. I don't want to put anybody in a weird space. And at the end of the day, what I have to focus on is me and my business and doing that in a solid way. And if I'm trying to conduct solid business with you, I expect the same in return, and that's just the kind thing to do, to realize I am a small business. I am paying a car payment with the money that I got. I'm paying my house payment. I'm paying my cell phone bill. I'm paying for bubble wrap. You know what I mean? So like, I need to be paid in a timely manner, and I will ship in a timely manner.
You are absolutely right, Auntie Harry. It happens in a lot of business areas. People don't pay, but they go and spend unnecessary money elsewhere, not
Yeah.
exclusive to the reseller community. It 100% is not exclusive to the reseller community. You are right. And I think it speaks to a larger issue that we won't get into it, but I think that, that unfortunately, I think that is very prevalent within our country, shall we say, where I think our wants and our needs sometimes get a little confused. And I think that, do you guys ever, and I would love to have the feedback of everybody watching down in the chat, but let me know what you think. Do you ever feel like, did this person buy this because like they wanted it, or what was there more to it? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Do
is
they
it
feel sorry for me, so they're buying it?
not that they feel no, not that they feel sorry for me, but is it like well, if I buy this, then I have something from Misty, or I have something from
Oh,
Michael or Sarah or David, but they don't actually have the funds
oh, I
to
see what
really
you're
be
saying.
buying those kind of things. And then it gets them in a bind, and then they put themselves in that situation. And that's again where that want overrides the actual need.
Well,
And, it's like,
Yeah.
oh,
I'm going to say something, and I think that everybody will agree to this, is please do not feel that you ever have to purchase anything from a
No, gosh,
typo.
no
That just
obligation ever.
coming and being there and being part of the chat
That's plenty.
and commenting, or just even watching,
yes.
that is support. If you happen to see something that you would like to have and you're able to buy it, that's just a bonus.
Yeah.
That's just a
And
bonus.
someone was talking about buyer's remorse, and someone above said, could you give tips for handling problematic situations? And
Shoot, I missed it.
I have been reselling for this is going to be my 8th year. And it was before my side gig that turned into my full-time gig. And I always have mainly focused on Instagram and then moved into YouTube this last year. And for me, I'm a small business owner outside this realm. My husband and I ran a photography business. So through that, I learned that number one, I really can't please everybody, but I can definitely try.
Yes.
And I think that goes a long way. Kindness and respect go a long way. And with problematic customers, I always try to assume not the worst, but the best. So, hey, when I'm sending a message for an unpaid invoice, hey, just checking in with you. I wanted to make sure everything was okay. Did you get your invoice? And I find that asking a direct question to the customer that hasn't paid is usually the problem solver. Like, usually that squashes it right there, because one of two things has happened, and this happens a lot. I will occasionally type in an email address wrong, and I've got a
Yeah.
typo
Yeah.
or something, and they've not paid the invoice, not because they're ghosting me, but because I had a typo in it. So what I do before I ever even send anything to my customer is make sure that I've got my ducks in a row on my end, and then I actually spelled the email address correctly. And then beyond that, then if it's my problem, obviously I fix it. But if it's the customer's issue where they've not seen it, or they didn't get it, or maybe someone opened it and forgot about it, that happens too. I just give them a reminder and let them know, okay, just let me know when you'll be paying. And usually 98% of the time they're like, oh my gosh, Sarah, I'm going to pay right now. I just forgot, or I got busy, or I don't check my email. I'm that person. I'm awful with email because I'm so used to DMs and Instagram. And my DM box is usually kind of an abyss. It's usually pretty full. So for me to go then and check email, it's just, I need to get better with it. But point being is, I think when, there's just good communication between the seller and the buyer, and there's kind communication. And, when I first started selling, I took it so personally when someone didn't pay me. And now I realize, you know what, everybody's got something going on. Everybody's got a coal in the fire somewhere. And I try to give all my customers a lot of grace. But if it's been like 3 weeks, that's where I'm running into issues with longtime customers who I dearly love, but they're just taking advantage of the fact that I've been kind and not let them pay their invoice for 3 weeks. And then they're buying from other sales and I'm still not getting paid. And that's not respecting your seller,
No,
That's
no. Well, and I completely agree with you. And I'm seeing so many good things in the chat. I just want to take this time to just remind everybody that the four of us are up here and we're having this conversation, but you guys, you answering each other's questions or any questions in the chat, that is just as important as what we're saying up here. So
Yeah, because
absolutely. I'm going back.
You guys are in the chat tonight.
Yeah, no, and I'm saying that this is what we wanted Vintage Rescue Squad to be. We wanted it to be a platform where everybody could get in and get things off their chest, or just that support system, because you may live in a household with people and you're a reseller, but nobody really understands this stuff except for other people that are doing it every day. So I love seeing all of this.
That's a lot, yeah.
It's honestly good for everybody. It's good for sellers to see like what buyers are feeling.
Sure. Sure.
Well,
And Julie said she stopped buying from sellers that take 3 to 4 weeks to mail the item. You know what? I completely get that too. And that the communication street goes definitely both ways. I completely, as a customer, because I buy from fellow sellers, I feel the same way. There's really no reason that there's a 4-week gap in shipping. If somebody runs into a bumpy spot and they communicate to their customers, I've had a shipping delay, that's one thing.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
like consistent, that's not good.
Well, resellers, each one do their own thing too.
Yes.
So the sellers may be going to other people where Sarah I'm just using you as I don't. But if you're allowing people 3 weeks to pay their stuff, but I'm over here saying 48 hours, and then they can come in and say, but over here they're letting me do this. Here's the reason I am setting.
That's Daniel. That's a really good point.
Mm-hmm. It is.
That's why everyone needs to have their policies in their description, and people need to read those policies as soon as that. You guys are all waiting in the chat sometimes for the sales to begin. Look at those. All my policies are in the same as all my videos, so you can go into my live sale videos at any time and see what my policies are.
Well, and here's the thing: like I've established that when you get your invoice within 48 hours, and I hold myself to the same thing.
Amen.
I need to get my stuff out, and you can ask Misty. I was freaking out the other day because I was closing my other job, but also doing these 3 sales that I thought was a good idea in my head that I tried from the 2 weeks I was off, but I just continued them while going back to work, which was not that smart. It freaked me out that I was not going to get my invoicing done when I said I was going to get it done to the people. So I hold myself to the same standard.
Yes,
absolutely.
Here's my thought on my standards of what I'm doing. Because I also dealt with, this seems like I'm a really mean person. This seems like I'm being, I don't know. I don't like being mean, but I can be. But if I set these and stick to them and people know, hey, he really will, I will be canceled after the 48 hours and he will resell that stuff. Eventually, everybody that comes to, unless they're new, knows this is his buying policies. This is the way I have to do it. Or, and if it is if I see you in somebody else's sales buying
Keep
and
going it.
stuff that you haven't, you can open two tabs while you're in that sale and go over to PayPal and pay me while you're buying this stuff over here.
That's exactly right.
Takes a second. Takes
I think it's because people are taking advantage of people being holding things for them. So they think, well, everybody's going to hold things for me.
Well,
We
so and so does. Why won't you?
I
And then
will
because
too.
you don't hold things, then obviously you're the problem because, that's how so and so runs their business. Well, why aren't you running their business? Look, here's the thing at the end of the day. And this is the truth of it, okay? Just as I said earlier, we're not up here to say that the way that somebody else chooses to run their business is wrong and that we are
No,
somehow right. But
no.
that is
None
to
of us want to
reiterate,
be that person.
right,
but all four of us run our businesses differently.
right.
Yeah,
We all
But what
absolutely.
four have
we are is we're consistent and we
yes.
do, that's the thing. And we hear you guys. Please don't think that this is just resellers speaking at buyers.
Oh gosh, no.
We 100% agree with everything that it is that you were saying in the chat in regards to what
Yes.
your expectations are of us as resellers. You want your stuff mailed out because if I can take your money, then I can certainly give you your stuff,
Right.
right? And you also want to get it in a nice, neatly, safe, secure package. Totally get it. You don't want to get something and be like, this is not what you described to me. So please don't think that this is us, this resellers trying to come at anybody
Yeah,
else.
No, I think it's actually a very valid conversation though,
I do too.
because I feel like, when there is an understanding, it's not like anybody's on a spree to block people or that's anything that we want to do. And where I run into problems is honestly longtime customers that I adore who just kind of take advantage of the fact that I'm nice. And it's frustrating, but that again is also on me to set some clear cut boundaries there and say, okay, I need you to pay
It's
by XYZ.
hard.
And actually, with some people, I've done that. If you can definitely pay me by Friday, that's great. Otherwise, I'll probably work those items back into another sale. And I feel like as long as there's some communication about what you expect, what I expect, we can come to some kind of cool understanding / agreement, and yes, we all have different policies. This isn't about what's right and wrong and you should do this. And I don't know. I mean, I coach people on Instagram on how to set up an Instagram vintage shop. And when I do that, I let them know that communication and consistency are the two biggest things that they could possibly do for their Instagram shops. And that's the truth. You have to consistently come up with content, post it, and make it relevant. And you've got to communicate daily in your DMs, and it goes the same with how you guys do things on YouTube.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Well, and one thing too I want to say as well is I think sometimes this happens, and I think that this is a good moment to talk about this. Is if you like, I haven't gotten an invoice, you may not have your PayPal notifications turned on. So it's always a good idea. You may not get the email for your invoice to go ahead and go into your PayPal account and see if you have an unpaid balance. So it's just a good idea just to go in and check, because I know sometimes it'll go to your junk mail. It'll, so one day you'll get it and then some days you don't. I get that.
Yeah,
So it's a good idea to just I go in there and I check because I'm all paranoid I'm not gonna pay somebody.
Yeah,
So you just
sure.
go in there and
I
just
do
make
too.
sure that you don't have anything open. One thing that I do, if I do this after those 3 days, if I haven't gotten payment, I'm going to then go in and I'm going to send them an email, with the link, the
Right.
PayPal link. And I know people are like, well, I shouldn't have to chase them down, but sometimes you do. I mean, that's part of this job.
That's right.
You have to be proactive. You
Yes.
can't just sit back and wait for it to happen. Sometimes things happen. People's lives get busy. They need a
Well,
little reminder.
And that's what I was actually going to say. 98% of the time, it is literally, oh my gosh, Sarah, I totally forgot.
Absolutely.
And you know what? I respect that because I'm crazy busy too. And guess who has also forgotten to pay an invoice to a fellow seller?
Me. Me too.
Me. So I'm in
We
the
all do it.
same boat. Like I get completely just like I wasn't on my phone for a whole day. I checked out. Like that is so work withable, in my opinion. Like we're all busy, no big whoop. I am so all about trying to treat my customers with grace and let them know, you know, no stress, pay it when you can, you know, or just let me know. And usually they pay it right that day.
They do.
That I've sent them reminders. So
I usually say something like, you know, just seeing if I sent you the PayPal invoice, just making sure that you had seen it. 'Cause I know that it gets lost sometimes.
yeah.
Here's a link to pay. Thank you so much. You know, that's all you
Yeah.
have to do. And the 9 times out of 10, they pay it. And
David,
and
my husband, said in the comments, proactive. Yeah,
Proactive.
that's really it. Just staying on top of your stuff. But what happens to me sometimes too is I'll go into PayPal to ship, right? And I've got all my transactions pulled up. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got like 4 unpaid invoices. And then I go in and I'm like, oh no. And then I see who it is and I message them and I send them a reminder. And like I said, usually it's not a big deal, but sometimes, you know, it takes people a while. And my whole thing is on the people that do sometimes take advantage of the system is just don't continue to claim stuff from fellow sellers if you can't pay me.
And let me say, Grace, that is a PayPal thing. It will always say past due. That isn't anything that we put
Is
in.
it? Does it really?
It will always say past due.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Cause,
And they don't,
like, girl, you don't even know. Because I'm like, past due. You don't just send it to me.
Because when we send an invoice, it's on the date that we sent it. And if it passes midnight, it's going to say past due. So it's not a personal thing.
It's not
PayPal.
us. It's PayPal.
That's
I don't.
right.
That does that. It is because I'm like past due.
Yeah, same.
But it is a PayPal thing. It is a PayPal thing.
Definitely.
What
I wanted to say something to about newer resellers because I'm getting in this boat and I am trying to learn, but we've had things of where people don't ship for 3 weeks or so. If you are having problems shipping, you might want to look at that maybe you're having too many sales.
There you go, Daniel.
I know we're trying to make money. I know that, but you're not going to make it if you don't send your product out.
Well, then let me ask you, Daniel, what would be your advice to somebody that, and I know that there was a comment earlier and you guys are just, it does my heart good to see the chat popping off the way that it is. Like,
I know.
That's what makes these episodes so good.
Mm-hmm.
So put in if you are a reseller, put in what frustrates you. If you are a buyer, put in what frustrates you.
We want to know.
This is
and subscribe.
Thank you, Christy.
That's
Thank you.
But Daniel, what would you suggest? There was the comment exactly to what you were saying. What would you suggest to a buyer that is having a difficult time getting their stuff out because I've got bills to pay and I've got to sell this stuff and I'm having a sale every day and I'm selling 90 things every day and I don't know how to, what would you advise them? Not to put you on the spot, but not to put you on the spot.
Thank you, Michael.
You're welcome.
Well, hey, Daniel, you got 1,000 subscribers now, so
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
Daniel, you're one of the big dogs. Look out.
Woo!
What's happening?
Oh my God. Okay, so here's my deal. But I'm a different thinking breed of a person. So I'm going to put that out there. If I am a buyer and I go to Misty's sale and she doesn't send me something and I'm asking for it over and over, am I going to go back to Misty's sale?
No.
Nope.
If I do go back to Misty's sale, who's that on now? Why would I do that?
That's a good point.
The exact same way. If you come to my sale and you don't like it that I canceled your invoice after 48 hours, there's 1,000 other resellers out there that you can find that will cater to what you need in your specific needs. Now, here's the other side of that too. Like me, I am trying to learn now that I'm just out there with no job, no schedule, no nothing. I am trying to find out, I'm in the in between stages of finding out what I can do and what I can handle. So my policies and my sales and all that are changing basing on um,
Your
You're
lifestyle.
changing
what I
schedule.
can figure out what I'm doing. It's
Sure.
going to take me a
And
few
it
weeks
will.
to figure out what I'm doing. So, but I always am trying to let people know, well, this is what's going to be happening now because I can't do this, or I can do this, so we're going to go to this, or whatever. But I mean, me personally, if I'm buying from somebody and they're not sending my stuff and I have paid them immediately and I've done what I need to do, I, I mean, first of all, they need to realize maybe they're doing too much and maybe scale it back. Otherwise, I'm just not going to go to their sale and I'll go else. You know, it's like a doctor or a store or anywhere. Each person has their own. All four of us could go to a doctor and I could hate him. Michael could like him. Misty's like, whatever. You know, so it's just based on that. That's my way of thinking on it.
Here's my viewpoint is you should not have another sale. Like, okay, I ship once a week. Okay. So sometimes I ship from my live sales once a week. That isn't always true. Sometimes, usually if I have a sale on Monday, I'll go ahead and ship that next day. But the majority of the time I ship on Thursdays. I should not have I will not and I should not have another live sale on that following Tuesday when I'm scheduled to have one if I do not have everything shipped out and invoiced. I should not have anything left that I have not invoiced somebody for or has packed up and ready to go and leave my place. I I just can't. If you've got 15 things over here that you still haven't invoiced, but yet you're having another sale the next couple days or the next week, your thing should be invoiced and shipped. Now, it always makes me nervous, and I know everyone does things differently, and that's okay. But I have to get my things completely packaged up, and then I send an invoice. That's just the way that I do it. That's not the way that everybody does it. But I have anxiety if I see a box sitting on my table and it hasn't been paid for yet, or if it's like I don't have their information, it gives me an anxiety attack. And I
I
know,
will say when I don't have information, it also gives me an anxiety
doesn't
attack.
it?
But I feel like as long as you communicate to your customers, so like for instance on Instagram, we have a pretty thriving sales community. So I'll do a sale on Wednesday, I'll have one Thursday night, and I might have one Friday night. And so I let everybody know from those 3 sales, Sarah's going to send your invoice on Saturday. And I'm going to combine ship with anything you got from my husband. And I'm going to combine ship with anything from those last 3 sales. Now, will I keep an open box? No. Will I build a box? No. It's shipping. It's shipping.
Yeah.
But I prefer to send combined invoices just because of the volume that we go through. If I'm invoicing daily, if I have a sale on Thursday and I invoice Thursday night and then I go to ship it, I don't have time
Right.
to do that the next day. So I let everybody know if you need something pronto for a gift, let me know.
Let me
I'll
know.
to the front of the line. Otherwise, I'm having this sale Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Invoices will go out on Saturday and your package will go out on Monday. So for me, it's about communication. We all have a little bit of a different system,
Yes.
but what I've done for all these years has worked well and still works well, especially with David and I both combining
Yes.
shipping and invoices.
It all goes back to communication and
Yep.
being proactive. That's the word of the day. Proactive. Not
And
like
having a decent work ethic. I mean, let's just throw that one out there too. That is
Yeah.
part of it, you know.
But you know what it is?
And a
It's a
record keeping
relationship.
system.
At the end of the day, it is a relationship.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a traditional, it's not a very heartfelt, it is a transactional relationship, but at the end of the day, it is a relationship between two people. And
Yes.
communication is key in any successful relationship. We've all, unfortunately, have probably been in situations where we feel like we're talking to a brick wall. Well, guess who typically are no longer in our lives? Those people who made us feel like we were talking to a brick wall. Do you know who that we consistently go to and engage with and continue on forward in life are people that communicate back with us. It is a two-way street, right? You guys want communication from us and we want communication from you. And when there is a breakdown and when it happens on either end, it does not make for a successful relationship, irregardless of, well, I've got this going on and I've got that going on and I've got, well, you don't know. And if you're not communicating, how does anybody know that?
Right.
Everybody's left with assumptions then. And I
Right.
am going to say this too. It gets to a point, though, that sometimes, as Daniel was saying, and as many of you were saying in the chat, you have got to know your limitations.
Yeah.
You're the one that is in control of your business. And that is the important thing that I think that is lost on far too many people. Well, not far too many, I'm exaggerating, but on enough that it's a business. This shouldn't be about, I don't know, how do I say this? I don't want to make my business too much about like my thoughts and my feelings and about what's happening in my life, because that's not what we're here for. You're here for me to show you some hopefully beautiful things that you're interested in, that you have a passion for, that I have a passion for, and you get something out of it. I get something out of it. We have a good time doing it, and then we keep it moving.
Right. Exactly.
It's
And
a
that is the
business,
heart
a
of
business.
handling your small business truly is, having those boundaries. We all have personal lives that are hairy, especially the last 2 years, right? Look at everything we've all just lived through collectively. So when you think about showing a little grace, I think that goes
Yes.
both ways. I need to treat people with respect. I expect that in return. And if that's not going to be the relationship, we're probably not going to need to do business together. And that's okay. You know what? I'm not for everybody. Maybe Misty's not for everybody. Maybe
Oh, I know
Daniel's
I'm not for
That's
everybody.
okay. You know what I mean? I am solid enough in what I do that I am, happy to be able to communicate what your invoice is going to look like and when it's going to get there and when it's going to ship. And, the fact that you claimed 4 different items from 2 sales, you know what I mean? I am keeping that organized. I'm not trying to put it on you and be like, well, I've got so much going on. It's just too much. No, that's my business and I handle it.
One thing I want to talk about too that I know is the difference between Instagram sale and YouTube sales, and I'm seeing it in the chat, and it's something that it has frustrated me too. And I know that like on Instagram sales, a lot of times y'all will just ask for their zip code, and I'm like, I need their whole address.
Okay, let me tell you why. I'm going to explain that right
I'm
now.
like, is
And a
this
lot of
what's
people
on
are
That's
asking
old
about that.
school.
Look, I tried to tell her the other day, so I was like, girl, that is old
It's
school.
old school. And okay, so the reason that on Instagram, when you go to an Insta sale and we only ask you for your PayPal email and your zip code is because I need your zip code to figure shipping from where I am to where you are. The PayPal email address is what I'm going to invoice you with. Once you pay that invoice, I've got your address. I have it. It's in PayPal. And then I copy and paste it from PayPal to Pirate Ship.
Oh no, I need the whole thing. I need the
there
whole.
in PayPal. It's
No,
there in
but
PayPal.
But I use Pirate Ship.
So do I. You
But I
copy
need the whole address.
Misty, we're going to do coaching one day. Seriously, on PayPal
But I
specifically.
need the whole address.
We're going to do
Listen, Misty, it used to be
it will
so.
change your life.
Do you remember a Wild Wild
I'm
West?
like, are they witches? Are they witches? Do they have a magic book?
She was like, "How are they figuring that out?" I'm like, "Girl,
It's a
they're
PayPal.
putting in the zip code." What are you talking?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
and here's the other caveat though to that is I communicate to my customers that I ship to the address that's in PayPal. And what I run into occasionally with other sellers on Instagram is
And why do you do that,
Cash App
Sarah?
and Zelle and whatever the heck. And I'm going to be honest with you, just from an Instagram seller perspective, to me, those are not the most reliable ways to pay your seller. If your seller can't send you an invoice, then likely they're not claiming taxes. And that's the real issue why they want Cash App. and they are not set up with an LLC. So therefore they're trying to skirt the system. And some people that are part-timers and newbies do that, and that's fine. But the rest of us that are established sellers use PayPal. We know how to invoice you through it. And then I want to know that your address is correct in PayPal so I get your stuff to the right place. And that also has to do with the PayPal agreement between buyer and seller. So if I don't send your stuff, you can file a claim on me. You can file a claim on your seller through PayPal. If you use Venmo or Cash App or any of those
Yes.
other ones, you cannot
You can't do that.
And so
yeah,
that's
and a
wrong.
lot of people, they're like, well, they're nervous. They're nervous because they're like, I don't want PayPal to have my, my information. PayPal is the most secure protection for a buyer and for
And a seller.
the seller.
Oh,
And you can check it out as a guest. Yes, Daniel,
I want to say two things.
say it.
One, for us old school people who ask you for your information, for the love of God, whatever you do, please do not send your credit card information
No,
with the number on the back,
Never.
the expiration date, and all that stuff. I beg you, do not send your. I had to tell somebody.
Never
don't
send your
ever
credit card
send a
information
reseller
online.
your
That's right.
information like
Don't
that.
ever type that out and send it.
Ever,
Correct.
ever do that. And then, what was the other thing? Dang it. I'm old and I lost it. But it was another along that lines that had to do with PayPal, but it'll come back to me. Sorry.
That used to be, Jeannie is putting it. That is so, Sarah, do you remember though, back in the day, you guys, like for real, do you know how you would update it? You would take a picture of the receipt and then DM it to your buyer and be like, okay, your stuff was shipped.
Here's the
That's how you
tracking.
used to do it. Here's a picture of the
Yeah.
tracking.
And
Yep.
it's so inefficient because then when you do the entire transaction in PayPal or Pirate Ship, then you take your info from Pirate Ship, copy and paste that tracking number back into PayPal. And that way you also as a seller are not constantly tracking down packages for your customers. When someone says, hey, Sarah, where's my package? I refer them to PayPal. Check your PayPal. All tracking is there.
Here, I remembered my other one now.
Okay.
Because you can file a claim against a seller in PayPal. Whatever, please reach out to the seller
Yes.
first.
Good point, Daniel.
If you didn't get your stuff or whatever, contact us so we can look into it, because I did have that happen and it was delayed because of USPS. It was out of my hands. I didn't even know it. And so then all of a sudden I got a claim against me and I'm like, oh my. Whereas and I was able to show them right away and all that, it was cleared up really quick, but it's better to reach out to the seller themselves first.
Yeah.
And if you don't hear back from them, then, that's the course you take. But if you can reach out to them first, we will usually always find out what's going on.
Yes. Yeah, you should, if you're shipping through PayPal or you're shipping through Pirate Ship, when you put in their email in your information, like Katie said, Pirate Ship will also send them their tracking number, and then I go ahead and put it in through PayPal as well.
Right.
So you should be getting two emails. But I do get a lot of emails from people saying, I haven't received my item yet, and in my mind I'm thinking, well, you got 2 emails from me, from Pirate Ship and from PayPal. But
not everybody checks their email. I'm so bad about it.
They might be going to their spam and they've not seen it, so.
And just to clarify that the reason that a lot of sellers are going to want to send only or exclusively, I should say, to the address that is in PayPal is because if I send an email or if I send an invoice to somebody via their email, okay, and that shipping information is in there, and then I proceed to send it somewhere else, and even though I update it with tracking, PayPal can look at that. If a buyer or a seller were to dispute that, well, I can't prove that it got delivered to the person that's there. They're going to say, well, who is that? And it just creates a headache for the seller at that point. And it can create a headache for the buyer, because if you legitimately are like, no, I bought that for my mother and it's not there, it's saying that it's there, and it could be totally legitimate, PayPal's going to be like,
Yep.
Don't know what to tell you.
Yep.
So,
Well, and I run into that so much on Instagram with between coaching and ISN and all of that. I have people constantly talking to me about what they're dealing with as a buyer and as a seller. And a lot of the Venmo and Cash App sellers, and I'm not trying to say they're dishonest people. There are good people that are taking Venmo and Cash
right.
App. Please don't mistake what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But what I'm also saying to you as a consumer is that if you are buying from someone that wants it friends and family, they're skirting the PayPal fees, number one. Number two, the reason
That's
why
a violation of PayPal terms and services too. Just
it is.
FYI, as a
It is a
seller,
violation.
it's a violation.
It's a
Yeah.
violation.
That's
You could get
correct.
kicked off the
And
platform.
when you are trying to do that, it doesn't exactly make your business look great. It says to the customer, I'm too cheap to pay PayPal charges and I'm not filing my taxes. And for me as a business owner, I would rather just quickly have my tax ID number, my LLC set up so I can be legit. Because again, this next year, kind of to tap into what you guys talked about with Jeffrey last week, which was so good and valuable information, was that the tax code's changing this next year. And if you make over $600, period, doesn't matter what, if you make over $600, you're going to need to file. So you might as well get your ducks in a row now than later. And then you've got to sort through everything with an accountant. You know what I mean? So for me, it's just, I would prefer as a small business owner to keep it all on the up and up. Number
My
one,
CPA
it's
insists.
professional. And number two, it benefits everybody, me and the customer.
Well, it's always a matter of time. And that's the thing. And I guess we can talk about that or if you want to or whatever. But, that's the important thing is that if you are going to venture into the whole reselling thing, business aspect of it, it's going to catch up to you no matter what it is. If you have chosen to try to skirt the system, if you are biting off more than you can chew, if you are being dishonest or misrepresenting your items, it's a matter of time. It's not a question of if, it is always going to be a question of when. So just as Sarah was saying, just do the right thing. It is the
So much
easiest
easier.
thing to do. It really is.
Yep.
And if you're new to this, get an accountant, CPA, get one. That is oh my gosh. I walk into my accountant because I have to do it every 3 months. I walk in there and she has to talk me down off the ledge every time because I'm like, please don't let me go to jail. Please don't let me go to jail.
Well, and
I
I'm
think
coaching other resellers, Daniel. You're not alone in that. The tax part of it, I totally get, is wildly intimidating. But after having our own photography business, we had to sort all that out with. And then for us, it was just logical to do this the right way. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people have never had their own small business before. So it's new territory and it's a little scary. However, it's so doable. And if you're really doing it right, just like you guys talked about last week, those deductions that you're going to get from everything from your equipment, a new phone because you're going live on your new phone, to a new laptop that my husband just bought me that I'm live on right now, that's a big tax deduction for us this year. So, while I really want to have good equipment so I can be reliable for my customers, it's also a tax deduction. So there's lots of pros to being set up correctly. It's just a lot of people don't want to take the time. They're scared, or they're scared. And I get that. And that's why, you need someone, you need a vintage rescue squad to help you through that kind of thing.
There is a very good a CPA. He has a YouTube channel called Not Your Dad CPA, and he you can watch some of his videos. They're free. It's free video to watch, and he covers a lot of e-commerce issues and things. So but yes, definitely trying to find a CPA that has experience in an e-commerce business would be helpful.
I know a couple of the Insta peeps were asking, why are people sending 2 invoices on Instagram? You got me. I don't know.
But I'm just saying, Amy has a thing. As a seller got on my butt because I would not do friends and family because she bills in 2 parts
Yep. There's several people that do two-part billing, and what they're doing is
No.
they're sending an invoice for the amount of the item first, and the customer's paying for that, right? And then they're sending
The
another
shipping.
shipping invoice separately, which to me is number one confusing, because then you're going to have two transactions in PayPal for every customer, which no thank you. And
No,
second of all,
that's
I'm not
right.
trying to do all of that. I, as a customer, I don't want to pay two invoices. I
That's
want one invoice.
bananas. That's
That has got.
bananas.
What if you've got like 20
I
invoices
think
and then
it's
you got
bananas
20?
too, but people are doing it. And then they'll ask me, do you do the two invoice system? I'm like, what? No. One
No.
invoice, that's it.
If someone's wanting you to do
purpose does that
two
serve?
invoice
And
system,
again, people
they're a
run
little
their businesses
shady.
differently, and I do respect that. But for me, as a serious
know.
reseller, it's extra work. That's right, Tiger. That's exactly right. It's just extra work. So why?
I think that's borderline shady to me. I don't.
Actually, I know two sellers that do it, and they're not shady people at all. But I just don't think they've got it figured out yet. And
Yeah,
it's
but like if
generally
you're
newer.
paying friends and family, you're not getting the protection.
Oh no.
Oh, this is
I'm talking
gonna
about
this
two
is gonna
actual
trigger Misty.
real
The
invoices.
idea or concept of open boxes.
No,
No,
no.
not unless you're an international customer and I can't ship
She's
it right now.
convinced that Misty Payne going to try and do this. A piano is going to fall on her head. She walk out the door.
That's my analogy. You know the Wile E. Coyote or something in the cartoons when they're walking down the sidewalk and like an anvil falls on their head or something. And no, I can't do. Here's the thing with open boxes, and this has happened to me when I first started reselling. It happened to me. I would have a sale and I would let people build a box. And so they would end up having like after a month, they would have a box, and that box would weigh like 24 pounds.
Yeah.
And then I would send them an invoice. And they're like, oh, well, I can't pay for that. That shipping's too expensive.
Yep. And then they back out of the items.
And they back out, or they don't remember, or they want me to separate it and put it in like multiple different boxes. No way. I've learned from my mistake. You have 3 days to pay unless we've communicated something prior. But I won't do open boxes. I will not hold things. Even if you're an international ship, I will not sell to you until I can ship to you. But that's my policy. That doesn't mean that should be everybody's policy. Everybody just has to. I think that you have to stick with your policy as best as you can.
Well, and I have people ask me that too, coaching wise, should I do an open box? That seems like a good way to go. And I always advise my coaching clients, don't do it, because what will happen is people back out because it's so heavy, and then the shipping, and then they don't want the items. And then you've long sold that, you know what I mean, 2 weeks ago because you're holding the box. So not a good point.
Yeah, it isn't good. And I don't know.
This is going to try to get me to do. Oh.
I'm reading the comments too.
Okay, so can I ask something controversial?
Ooh.
Go for it.
Of course.
Do you guys, and this is going to be interesting, and this is okay. I could be opening Pandora's box right now. So
open it on up, Michael.
Let's remember the grace that we were talking about earlier. Okay, because again, we're not saying one is right and one is wrong. We're just exploring here together. Let's stay together on this, folks.
Okay. Buckle your seatbelts.
Do we invoice when the item is boxed and ready to ship, or do we invoice? Do we invoice prior to actually sending the item? Or wait.
Yeah, always. Yes.
Yes, I have done that actually.
Always invoice prior to sending the item.
So some sellers have the item boxed and everything's calculated and ready to go, and the minute you pay, it's gone. Other people there are other sellers. Sarah's saying no. Sarah is a seller who will invoice you for your item and your shipping, and only when she receives that will she ship the item then.
Correct.
And
then I
what
let
is your
everybody know
theory
my
behind
turnaround time, after that. So it's
Right.
not like if you
Right.
buy something from me and I invoice on Wednesday, then I'm not going to turn around and ship that on Thursday. I usually turn around in 48 to 72 hours. I tell all my ISN sellers a week, and you need to communicate to your customer what that looks like. Everybody's got a different standard for that. But for me, with David selling like he does, and I selling and myself selling, multiple sales a week, I prefer to allow that customer to, if they got something from David's sale Tuesday and something from my sale Wednesday, then there's no way I could have that pre-boxed up, because I'm going to combine those into the same box, and I need to figure accurate shipping, and I can't figure accurate shipping if I've already got it pre-boxed up and it didn't have the other item that was combined. So for me, it's an organizational system in keeping my ducks in a row. And then I ship in the order of payment. So if so-and-so paid right away, then they're going to be the first one to go out. If so-and-so took 3 days to pay, which I don't recommend, but if they did, then their stuff's not going to go out, until further on down the transactions. And everybody that's bought from me on Insta, like, you guys know, like, turnarounds about a week total from when you get your stuff, and which I think is completely
I think that's fine.
fair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
As long
that's
as that's
perfectly fine.
communicated. I don't have a system where I can turn around and ship that same day of the sale or the next day. You know what I mean? I have a different system, but it's also because I combine ship with my husband.
Well, you're
Right. Well,
doing,
see,
but see that.
Emma and I combine ship, but she's only because Emma has a sale with me. But what we do is, because I ship on Thursday, so I have a sale on Tuesday and I have a sale on Wednesday, and those things combine. But then, and what Emma does is Emma will wrap up, because she has a sale Tuesday afternoon with me. She'll wrap up her items, put them in bubble wrap, put a sticky note on it, and then lay it on a table. But she's only selling 10 things. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's not
The
like she's
volume that we do,
40
like,
things.
what will
Right.
happen a lot of times, like if I did your system, I would have, let's say, someone not pay, and then I need to go resell that item, and I've got to bust into a box, and then maybe they want that item and 2 others. So what
Yeah.
I find with my customers too is I have a lot of people that purchase multiple things
Right.
to save on shipping, and it's an effective system that really benefits the customer.
Yeah, it does. I ship everything on Thursday. So if you buy something from me on Tuesday,
We ship
Wednesday,
once a week.
yeah, once a week. So it's the same thing
It
essentially.
is the same thing. It's
the
just a
same
different
thing.
system.
It's just a different but I get it all ready. I get it all. I can't even count. I'm very lucky. I'm gonna knock on wood. I can't even count on one hand how many times I've had to unpack somebody's box because they didn't pay.
Yeah.
I know that it does happen. But
I have done it before. I have done it the other way, and I just find it so frustrating because I really don't want to pack up their box until I know. And then occasionally it'll be a customer that bought 5 to 7 items, and then I want to add an extra little freebie in there because they purchased so much from me. So for me, it's customizing the box to the customer, and I'm not just trying to get it out the door. I want to make sure that I got it right.
So we essentially are doing the same thing.
Yeah,
we're just doing it in a different way.
Different system.
It's coming to the same fruition, just in a different format.
Absolutely. And I think both are good systems.
Same destination, different path.
But I don't recommend doing that unless you are familiar with the size of a box you're going to need, the approximate weight it's going to be.
Exactly. I estimate my shipping based upon, like, typically I estimate shipping in my head. Every once in a while, I'll estimate too much and I need to do a refund, but 90% of the time, my shipping estimates are pretty dead on.
Yeah.
I have to box all my stuff and weigh it and then invoice because I have to know exactly.
Me too. That's just my brain. That's my brain.
I did eBay.
With using pirate ship, you know what it's going to pretty much be. It's either going to be $9.99, $10.99, or $11.99. You know what I mean? Depending on weight. So for me, I can like judge and be like, this is 3 pounds. But I've been doing this for 8 years too.
Right.
So if you're a newbie starting out, and how I actually coach my clients that hire me is I let them know you've got to find a box, just like Misty does. You need to find a box. You need to put your item in it and then weigh it. Okay. You don't
Yeah.
need bubble wrap or anything. Weigh the empty box with the item in it to figure the shipping. And then you need to add about 10 to 12 ounces to that for padding, bubble
Yeah.
wrap, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Newspaper, whatever you're
Mhm.
using. And that then I have people figure shipping in the USPS app or the UPS app or pirate ship, depending
Yeah.
on what their methodology is going to be. And that works. That's how I started. When I first started selling on Instagram, I had an old schooler eBay person that taught me that method.
And that's right, because that's the way that you do it is the way that I do it on eBay. When I'm making my eBay listings, I'm not packing it up beforehand. So
No.
I'm thinking, okay, that's going to fit in a 10 by 8 by 6 box. It's going to weigh approximately, this. So it's the same thing, only my eBay stuff may sit on a shelf for months and months and months.
Sure.
Whereas the stuff that I'm packing up
It's
it's going out.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. The most important thing is that you're sending out an invoice and then you're getting the stuff out.
Absolutely. You're and that's when after I send invoices and when I explain to people doing a new shop setup with me, I let them know after you send your invoice, just take a quick second to write that customer and just say, hey, thanks so much again, invoice sent.
Invoice sent.
And you know what? 98% of the time they pay immediately. And
But
those
see,
who
Sarah,
don't usually just forget.
That's being proactive, and you have to be proactive sometimes. You can't just sit back and just say, okay, well, everyone's going to get my email. It's not
No.
going to go to spam.
You
and
have
then
to
treat them like
communicate.
poo because they didn't see it. You have to be proactive.
Absolutely. That's part of my sales process. The moment I send those invoices individually, I at that time go to my phone and say, hey, thank you so much, invoice sent.
Yeah.
And people appreciate that because who's sitting on their phone waiting for an invoice all day? Not me.
Yeah.
And
then your customer isn't left with a salty feeling in their
exactly
throat because you're being accusatory because you're like, well, how dare you? You're not going to come to my sale anymore.
Right. And that is always, as a seller, when there is like a weird falling out like that, you guys, it is so stressful. We feel terrible. We don't like losing anybody over a weird misunderstanding, but it happens.
Daniel, Auntie Harry wants you to speak, and we'll all be quiet and not interrupt you at all.
I'm sorry, Auntie Harry.
Bad Misty.
No, say.
I have. I enjoy listening to all this. You have to remember, I'm learning this. I'm learning from the big hitters here. I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing in this whole thing.
Well, you know what? We actually haven't and this is something that I really would like to delve in more for my own selfish purposes, I'm not gonna lie. But I am really interested, and Sarah, I would like to hear yours also, though I am more familiar with your story. But I would really like to hear from the both of you as to, I guess, was there a moment? Was there a thought? Or was it something that just one day you were like, this is it, and this is what I'm doing? I mean, what was it that, and Misty, you know what? I would like to hear because there probably aren't people who have heard it from you. But was it that moment? Was it that epiphanal aha? Or was it just a, you know what, I'm done with it and I'm doing my own thing? Like what was it that made you decide to take this leap into a full-time reselling?
You go, mister. Let Daniel talk. We've been all
Daniel, speak.
I'm like,
okay, so my whole journey on this started back in 2020. A lot of us new resellers are coming in because of the pandemic, and we discovered all these wonderful people that kept us sane through the whole thing. So, watching, and I used to, I dabbled back in the 90s when everything was hot and, it was glorious. Sales were wonderful. I had a small antique booth just for the fun of it, me and my sister, just for the heck of it. I mean, so I've always liked vintage stuff, and I've always been an old soul, and now my body's caught up with my soul. So,
Thankfully.
So I started, watching you guys, and I thought that Jeffrey's the one who got me going because I'm like, he's from Illinois. Look at him. He's doing what he loves. He's not having to work for anybody else. Is it possible? Is it possible to do this? Do I have the guts? Can I do this? So then I started watching everybody, and I thought, I should just do a YouTube. Just make a fool of have no problems with making a fool of myself. I'm just going to tell you that right now. So I thought, and I'll just start with what I have. We all know my little crappy phone that I had. I just started doing it. But what's got me to here is starting off with just doing, I started with eBay. I've gotten off of eBay because it's a pain in the butt to me, in the way my mind thinks and does things. So I started with just making the little YouTube horrible videos, as we've all done when we start out. And
Except for Michael. Michael's was good.
yeah, I know. He starts off the bat with everything. I mean, come on. He's got it all.
Oh, honey.
Well,
Thank you.
We all think.
I'm glad I'm keeping up the illusion. I appreciate it.
I know, isn't it all about the illusion? But
I am so happy all of the time, you guys. Let me tell you what.
All the time.
All the time.
All the time.
So I started doing that, and then I thought, I'm going to try to go live just to chat. That was scary, doing that for the first time.
Yeah.
But I loved it. And so I just started doing chats. And I'd always listen to Misty and all of them. You've got to build an audience. You need to get your people up there before you can ever start selling. Well, little old me had in the back of my mind, before I even started doing lives or anything, I'm going to do this. I started buying. And I don't know if you guys did this, but as we all know, when we first start out, we go out and we buy everything we see, thinking that we're going to sell all this stuff. So you're not quite as choosy as when you learn as you go. So, I still have shelves and shelves.
Yep. So do I.
Same.
I'm like, I got to have a garage sale thing one of these days. So I had all this inventory because I also thought I would do a booth too at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I started the booth, and then I started dipping my toes into the sale thing because I'm like, I'm going to try this. And then, of course, we went into techie like Sunday morning and all that stuff. So, but the catalyst to actually go full time, do not use me as an example.
Okay.
Just putting it out there, because with me, it's me. I have nobody else. I'm not responsible for nobody else. If things go, it's on me. Just know that. Also, you need to dot your I's and cross your T's, set down, write out your bills, figure out. I took 2 weeks off of work because my sales had started getting, especially on Sunday, I got an audience.
Yep.
And I thought, I'm going to see what happens if I take 2 weeks off of work. Can this sustain me?
Okay, good for you, Danny.
This is going to work. Let me go do, I don't know, 3 sales and see if this is a sustainable thing, because I really don't play well with others in person.
Okay.
I mean, Michael, you know this. I worked in retail for 17 years.
I know exactly what that means.
That'll do it.
Holidays, all that stuff. Dealing with people in person is a whole lot different than doing this.
Yeah.
Right.
I enjoy this. I mean,
because I can turn you off.
Yes, exactly. Delete, mute,
and chat.
Right?
So
No, I didn't get that message. I'm sorry.
after I did those 2 weeks, I thought, okay, I think I can do this. So this is where we're at now. I'm in the jumping off part. But just know, even though it looks like I just all of a sudden decided to go, I worked at this maybe not quite as long as I should have, but I was ready. I was ready to jump. So we'll see. We're just at the beginning of this. Like I said, I'm in my learning stage too. I'm not for sure I can do 3 sales now. So I've cut it down to 2 because I'm also, how do I put it? People are wanting to do sales with me.
Yes.
So then you're adding that on to what you're doing. So that,
But you can't just have a sale with anybody.
it's
Boy, that's a really valid,
It
hard
and it sounds
lesson
bad.
to learn.
It
Yeah.
sounds bad. It sounds bad. Even the words coming out of my mouth sound horrible. But it you can't.
so that's what
Why
I'm
do you, why do you, would you like to expound upon that more or?
I think you should. I mean, I get it.
From
Because you can't be because you it kind of draws the line where you feel like somebody is using you. You feel like you're being used.
Yep.
And you want to be helpful and you want to be positive and you want to do whatever you can, but you have to also learn how to say no. And you have to learn how to say no and not go to bed worrying that the whole world hates you because
I
you said no.
just had this conversation with a fellow reseller yesterday, and it was that saying no thing, and it sucks and you feel bad, but at the end of the day, I've got to take care of me. I'm not even focusing on my own self-care. And I'm
Yeah.
trying to accommodate people, and I love all these people, but I only have so many days in the week.
Right.
And
When
then
you're
I get overextended and
people
overwhelmed.
and you're a people pleaser like me.
Girl, yes. I'm a
We
recovering people pleaser, and it is
Yeah.
hard. It's
Sarah
hard out
and
there
I-
for a people pleaser.
Sarah and I were separated at birth somehow.
Yes.
Daniel can't relate
We have-
either. What he's
We
like,
have an interestingly odd synchronistic life. Like Misty will tell me things and I'm like, I just did that. Or I will tell her something.
It's
and
very
she's like,
odd.
I have that. Yeah, we have some really weird synchronicities, which are great. And yeah, I love it. I do love it, but I could use some more downtime and some self-care. And I'm not real good with that, unfortunately. That's where I'm struggling is the laundry pile, the trying to take, you know what I mean? And you guys kind of touched on that last week too, just
Yep.
like
the reality.
the reality
Mhm.
Yeah.
of
I
what
feel like I'm
like.
surrounded by stuff and I can't.
The thing, Daniel, I will say is, and I think that you already know this because I think you've already been doing this, is that just prepare that when you're doing this, you're going to eat, sleep, and breathe doing this.
Mhm.
It's going to consume you. You're never going to want to stop doing it.
Yep.
You're going to be like, oh, I should take a day off. But when you take a day off, you don't want to take a day off because you love it so much.
Right.
That is the difference. That's when you have found your passion.
Yep.
So,
Preach.
I mean, congratulations. I mean, I think that it's a good thing. It's you're going to be putting your time and energy into something that you love to do.
And Daniel, you'll make the transition because you have the personality, you have the eye, you love this. It is what you want to do, and you will make it work. And that's what we figured out with this too. When you love it, you'll do it.
You know, coming on Sunday morning and all my people coming in the chat and saying hello or even, talking amongst yourself, because like this Sunday, we had some interesting conversations going on. I mean, I love seeing, or even the people who lurk, once in a while they'll say, hey, I'm a lurker, hello, and then back up.
Yeah.
I don't, it's a fun Sunday morning for me to say hello to everybody and to spend time with my internet friends.
Yeah.
And honestly, these day and ages, especially with what is going on, this is what a lot of friendships are now.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what? They are real and they are valid.
You didn't even meet till just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Michael and I just met for the first time.
Yeah.
I know, isn't that weird? But it's like we didn't meet though. It's the oddest. It's like we did, but we didn't meet. It's the oddest thing ever.
Yeah.
It really is.
It is hard because you do want to be supportive, and there are so many people that you feel like you want to collaborate with. I don't know that I will ever go to doing a solo sale ever again.
Same. I've never done a solo sale. Never.
I love doing a sale with someone. And if I talk to someone and I feel like I can vibe with them, and like, or that we're selling similar things, because I want, there may be a time or two where something that isn't necessarily vintage, but my sales are true vintage sales. They are not, it's not, I'm not selling things that are not
General
either,
merch.
or yeah, or now eBay, I do sell general merchandise, but my live sales are true vintage
Vintage.
and antiques.
Sure.
And I don't, there's not anything wrong if you don't do that, but that's just who I want to have a sale with, is someone that's also selling true vintage and antiques. But we are our own bosses, and we can decide that. But when you put yourself on a platform, then you're judged for it. Well, they're not having a sale with this person, this person, this person. They're only having a sale with this person, this person. They must be a clique. And it's not that.
ISN has been called a cult before, Misty.
Oh, I know.
We're not. If you're
No,
Well, I am a
witches
cult,
know their zip
so
code
just
magics.
you know what I mean? People are, what I have found, and somebody commented this in the chat a little bit ago, is you just can't please everybody all the time. And as I've gotten older, I've had to put realistic expectations upon myself into, I can only make so many people happy right at the moment. And if I'm not at the top of that list, then I'm not serving anyone well.
Right.
well, look, and I think this kind of speaks to what Jake is saying, is that, the idea of, and I appreciate the quotes of putting that into selective, because I get that, Jake. And how is it that you determine who it is that you sell with? Well, here's the thing. In life, and I would pose it to you like this, or I would put it to you in this perspective, is that in life, you are going throughout and you're living it, and you come across thousands, tens of thousands, however many thousands of people you come across in your life. Are you friends with all of those thousands of people? Do you get along with all of those thousands of people? And maybe, what, you're enjoying the same hobby, and you're going out and it involves you going to a specific space, and there's 400 people that are in that space, and you're all there. You've all been brought together because you like the same hobby. Are you getting along with all 400 of them? Are you going to be friends with all 400 of them? No, you're not. But what invariably happens is that, from some fate of the universe or kismet or whatever it is that you want to call it, you end up finding people within those 400 that you just connect with. That's how you find that it just happens.
That's life.
Just,
That's friendship. That's
yes.
business relationships. That's normal.
Yeah.
The beauty of it is there's still those people out there that we just haven't found yet, that we haven't, that we've not made that connection with. I also want to say, though, too, you also have to be very, 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 very careful, because in this community, there can be a lot of negative aspects. There can be people that get jealous or mad, or they misunderstand something that they think something happened this way, and that's not really how it happened, because not all of us put our business
in the
and
street,
our personal life
in the
and
street.
everything so then it's like, oh well, I don't like them because this person said this, they did this, 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 this. Well, you can't know that, because I'm not going to this is my business. I love what I do. I protect my business. I am not going to get into internet arguments with people. I am not going to.
I won't engage. I don't. I trust me. I've been through it. I've been bullied. I've had, a page made to bully me. I've had people that, either left ISN or were removed. And I have people that have blocked me who I don't even know.
Yep.
And it's just on some hearsay. And you know what?
Hearsay.
To me, good riddance. Like, if you're that kind of homie that's like gonna judge me on some hearsay you heard from a seller that's got, 6 months under their belt, like, whatever, go for it. Like, I am too busy to even worry about putting out all of those fires. It's not my job. Somebody always said to like, your opinion of me is none of my business, and it's kind of true. Like, if you love me, great. If not, there's a lot of other people to buy from.
That's 100%.
I just saw it today. What was it? It was, oh, somebody else's opinion of you says more about them than it does about
And it
you.
is about you.
And
Yeah.
think about that. And that's the interesting thing is that, and I don't understand why people would want to perpetuate that kind of action, behavior, or thought, because we've all been on the end of that, of receiving that.
Oh yeah.
So why are you going to be a person then that projects that out there into the world and on, like, that is the thing that baffles me the most. Look, are there times when I'm like, I'm not really feeling that person yet? Am I going to go out my way? Do I feel like it's my business? It's my right to let
No.
that person know how I? No, because guess what? At the end of the day, it don't matter. They're living their life. I'm living my life. So why bother with it?
And
Like,
here's the thing
Right.
too. And Glix Pick says something as a newish Instagram customer. I've already seen some sellers use Instagram as a personal drama venting post. Let me tell you, I see that too. And you know what I do? When I see people posting negative and all this, they like block
Unfollow.
people's names out,
Block.
but they put the comment. I'm unfollowing it. I'm
Oh, yeah.
unfollowing you if you're going to bring unnecessary drama onto your business platform.
Keep moving.
I'm not bringing myself. I'm not doing it. I'm not
Well,
gonna
I
like
refuse
it. I
to
don't want to see it.
engage. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm with you, Misty, 100%. I refuse to engage. And when you are on Instagram and you see those sellers that are ranting and acting the fool about whatever, just block them. And that's what I've ended up doing. And I don't like to block people just on a whim. But do you really think that you're going to get any kind of serious business done with this person that is talking to the entire internet about all of their personal problems and the one person in their day that's wronged them? Like, I refuse to devote my positive energy to that negativity. Go suck on a crystal. Like,
mhm,
True.
can't.
Right? Yeah,
Deal.
like Katie says, don't share drama with your followers. It's unprofessional. It's right. My viewers do not.
Absolutely.
I respect the people that watch my videos and that see my content way more than to involve them on any kind of unnecessary drama that they don't need in their lives.
Right.
You know what?
well,
We're here to bring joy and good vintage.
there
Or
that's
stealing
that's the
5
thing though.
items within that time that I'm complaining about somebody else. I could be
Right.
stealing 5 items.
That's
Boom.
right, Daniel.
Boom. While you're complaining, I'm busy selling. So
That's right. Go
You know
suck on
what?
her crystal.
But that's the thing is that, and I think that is reflective, and I'm going to say it is that, and I have said this before, and I'm a big fan of this proverb, if you will, and Misty is probably going to be like, oh my God, if you say this one more time. But I am a firm believer in the way that we think dictates the way that we feel, and the way that we feel dictates the way that we act. So, irregardless of
Preaching truth.
whether it is a personal, and I'm going to say it, or whether it's a personal account, if that's the kind of energy that you are putting out in the world, I don't want anything to do with it.
Same.
Okay, because you're acting some kind of way, because you feeling some kind of way, because you thinking some kind of way. I ain't a doctor, I ain't a priest, and I ain't a psychologist. Do you know what I'm saying? I've got but one life to live, and what I am going to do with that life is surround myself with positive, uplifting, and truthful people. And what Sarah Dunn just said is that she wants to put something out in the world. She's not trying to get something out of it. So
No.
people who are busy putting all that mess out there on display, they looking to get something. They're not looking to put something out there.
That's right.
Keep that in mind and make sure that you find people who are trying to contribute to life and not take from it. Okay?
That's right.
Business or personal. Okay?
Well, and I'm going to probably say something controversial and unpopular, but it's true, and we've all lived it. And those of you that are of like mind will get it. When a seller, whether it be YouTube or Instagram, is trying to play on your sympathy to either donate to a cause, buy their crap, or they're not actually just showing you an item. It's, I can't pay my bills this month, guys, so if you could please buy this swung base. You know what? We all have our stuff. We all have our finances. We all have a private life, hopefully, that we're keeping semi-private. If you're telling all your business on the internet, that's a bad plan for everybody involved. And I really find it offensive when other sellers try to play on my emotions of making me feel sorry for a particular situation that maybe I was in the past and I just got myself out of it and didn't tell anybody. Maybe there's a situation that is so relatable to me, it's frustrating because I worked my butt off to get out of that situation. And this person's playing on sympathy to get an end monetary goal, whether it be a sale, whether it be a donation, whether it be whatever the hell. I find that is such a turnoff. I can't take it. And I had to say that. I had to get that out.
I agree with that, Nancy, and I agree with you, Sarah. I do, but I agree with that Mr. Rogers quote too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I agree with you, Sarah. It is. It's disheartening sometimes to see.
It is.
And I don't like, and I don't know. It's just, it's not.
And here's the deal. I'm not trying to judge. Everybody is in their own place on their journey in life, right?
Amen.
But this is business. This is business. And if you're doing it right, or you want to do it right, you shouldn't be unloading on your customers and making them feel bad for you. You should bring good stuff and make them want to buy it. And that's the difference between running a business and having a personal hobby that you're throwing all your kids in the street, so to speak, verbally every week.
Well,
you know what I mean?
And you want people to come to your sales and you want them to leave it, and you want them to leave out and they've laughed and they've smiled and they felt good and they felt empowered and they felt confident. You don't want them to like leave and they're stressed out
Yeah.
because
But see, that's exactly that's the point though, Misty Pate, is that again, you are trying to give something. You're giving somebody a laugh, a moment, right? You're giving somebody a welcome distraction in life. You're not looking to have these people come to you and have them give it to you. That's the difference. And that's the important thing though.
But I want to. I'm seeing what Jamie had. She had some. That's different.
That is different, Jamie. And I completely respect transparency. There's a difference between transparency with your seller and here's what's going on in my life.
Is that what we're talking about?
And yeah. And just completely coming unglued because you can't handle your own stuff and maybe you need a therapist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Grace 2010H said, on the opposite side, how do you feel if your buyers share personal stories during your sales? That happens a lot.
And that I feel like is up to the buyer, because a buyer can be like, oh my gosh, this reminds me of my grandma. My grandma died last month. Like that is a connection that I'm going to make with a buyer. Okay. Yeah. Buyer doesn't have any ill intent with that. They're just connecting with a piece of vintage that maybe meant something to them and they lost someone significant to them, or they did just get diagnosed with cancer or something like that. That I understand and am receptive to. And I love to hear where my buyers, what's going on.
I do too. I feel the same way.
I'm not trying to put anybody in a position to feel sorry for me, basically, for any reason. And I don't mean like if I had something happen or something happened to my husband, yeah, I would tell you guys. I would let people know in a second. You know what I mean?
Well,
because that's what's going on during my life. You know what I mean? So there's a fine line, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then let me be full on. What's up, Ben?
Oh, I was just going. We're talking about personal things. Jenny +1 has there where she has shared about her dog.
Oh yeah.
I'm in the exact same situation. I have told people that I'm dealing with an older dog. I may have to leave the sale. I may have to deal with things. We're on our last legs. But that's not me. How do I say it? You know, I'm not trying to cause a big story to
you're,
get people.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
there's a difference between it being a crutch and it being an update, a life update.
Right.
Well,
And you
this,
can talk
And
about
it's not a continual life update for
well, and it's not trying to like get a means to an end. Like if you
you're
had
not
someone
creating a
start a
story. You're not
GoFundMe for
creating a
your dog that's
narrative.
sick, you can talk about that, but it's not like that's what your whole sale and your whole reason you went live was, just to talk about this and to cry on camera. I think transparency is great, but
There
I
you
think
go.
there's times capitalize on the situation. Boy, that's a good Natu. That's really, yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. And there's a fine line there. And those of you that have commented with, I talked about my dog, I talked about cancer, that's valid. And it's not a sob story. Exactly, Jamie. It's not. That's real life. And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the sellers that go on to rant about another seller, rant
yeah,
about
it's
their
mainly that.
husband,
It's
rant about their kids, rant about the fact they can't pay their bills. That's where I have a disconnect and an issue.
yeah, it's trying to bring somebody else down to make to get that
Or
that's more.
capitalize on a messed up situation. Yes.
Yeah.
This is what and I'm gonna come at this from my perspective, okay? And this is just solely from my perspective. This is what I will say is that okay, so Misty knows this about me, but I actually am a very highly private person. There's probably most things in life I will not discuss. I just simply won't. That's who I am as a person. That doesn't mean that I am a person that doesn't want to hear about other people's, because I'm very good, I think, at helping people see different perspectives or helping people work through those difficult times in life. And I think that that's a blessing. So I want to share that with other people. That said, um, I am a firm believer in the time and place kind of thing. So I would say that if I was going to, hold on, my audio is getting janky. Um, or if I felt the need that I had to share something, I wouldn't do it during a sale.
Right. Same.
I would do it in a separate video. I would do it and I would do it in an Instagram post, but I wouldn't do it during a sale. And I think to talk to the comment of how would you feel if somebody did it during a sale? Honestly, I personally would appreciate that respect in return. Um, because for me it's not a question of I don't want to engage with somebody, or that I don't want to offer compassion or sympathy or perspective, but it's extraordinarily difficult when I'm in there being like, hey, this is for sale and this is for sale, and somebody's like, my dog died, and I'm like, oh my god. And it's not that I don't
Right.
want to be sincere, that's horrible, but I'm like, okay, I'm so sorry. That's terrible. And then here is this again. It's $6 again. You know what I mean? And then I got to pick it. So I feel it's a very awkward
Awkward.
position to be in. If somebody came into the chat right now and said that, of course, because we're just having an open air discussion. But for me, business is business and personal is personal, and never the two shall.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
well, and Ariana said, she just said it can be kind of hard when you're trying to be positive and alive and sell your item in a fun way, but the comment section is full of very sad things.
And I understand, like, especially the last 2 years, we've all gone through, like I said, collectively something very weird. And we've all got situations that are rough. I think that I am kind of like Michael. I keep my private life
I'm like done.
and exactly, Chrissy, if one of my dogs
But
dies,
some
the last
people
thing
need
you'll
that.
see me
But
is
But some
and,
people need that. But some people need that. It's a
and I don't.
community.
Yes.
I want, I don't know. Yes, I can see it is a distraction, and you're like, and you kind of like, oh no, I'm so sorry, and you're trying to be happy and upbeat, but at the same time, where my heart goes is they had this traumatic thing happen, and they're wanting to be uplifted, and they're wanting people,
Yeah.
they're wanting someone to talk to about it. So I mean, I can totally see both. I can see both sides to it. And
Absolutely.
and
I
it
mean,
is
I've
hard when
been,
you're trying to be upbeat and then you're like, oh no, but I think that that's where the people in the chat are very important. It isn't necessarily, and I honestly don't think that anybody comes on a sale and is like they're wanting you to stop your sale. They want to make
Right.
it, but they're looking for that camaraderie in the chat. And I think that that's
and that's okay. I don't have an issue with that. Nobody's soliciting anything bad there. You know
right.
what I mean? These are two very different.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about is just really not good as a seller. Okay. As far as people in the chat, everybody can talk about whatever they want when they come to my sale. I don't
Right.
care.
Me
I'm
too.
happy for people to talk to each other, to talk to me. You know, if your dog passed away this week, tell me. I'm probably going to cry. That's my problem is I am highly sensitive. And if something
Mhm.
like that serious comes up and you share with me that you've been diagnosed with melanoma in the chat, I'm probably going to break down and cry.
Yeah.
So it's for me, I try to I have to keep my emotional side in check, even though sometimes it's hard.
And there you go, Jamie. And it is, see, look, there's the answer. It
Yep.
is that simple. You don't
Yep.
have to.
Or you just do a vlog. You do a
Or a
vlog for
vlog
everybody.
or a
Yeah.
post or exactly. And I think for people that do enjoy, the public outlet of that kind of thing, that's great. That's what Facebook is. That's what Instagram is. You can have a personal account and post about those things. It's
Oh
just
yeah.
sometimes
See,
it's not
I want to
necessarily appropriate,
I want to clarify something. Because I see like people bringing up Danny. That's not what we're talking about. That was like
Breaking up who?
a legit emergency. Her son had surgery and she had a sale. And the sale was going towards the expense of
That's right.
different.
That's different. That's different.
That's an
And again,
event.
you would have to
That's an
understand
event.
what we're talking about in the community and what we've seen.
Yeah.
And some people have seen it too and get it.
Yeah.
There's a level of honest people, and then there's a level of manipulators that are seeking attention
Yep.
and your sympathy. And there's a huge difference in the two. And please don't mistake what I'm saying. I'm a lovely person. I'm an empath, unfortunately. It's a curse.
Yep. I am
And
too.
That I think that that's what I was trying to convey. And I hope that was understood.
Yeah. No, that's not what we're talking about, Catherine. No, not at all.
Transparency versus manipulation. That's a good way to put it, Stephanie. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that is true, Amy. That's 100% true. But it's difficult though because you've become so extraordinarily, and that typically is why I'm a very like private person, is because I think once you are in, personally speaking, once I am in that emotional state, I
Shake it.
feel very vulnerable, and I don't feel, I'm a very like controlled kind of person. I like to at least, and I know that it's just an illusion, but I like to at least have my illusion of feeling like I'm in control of my facilities.
Yeah.
So when I'm not, I don't do well, and I wouldn't want to socialize. Like if I was in a social environment, I would immediately remove myself. And if that were to happen to me on camera, my only resolve is to be like, I got to end this. I got to go, you guys. And that's how I would end up handling it, truth be told.
Exactly. Right.
Mhm.
Because I'm not trying to, I am private with my emotions, and I've had to be because of being a sensitive person. Unfortunately, I can burst into tears literally at any moment. So, I just am not trying to do that. And I don't, especially, and we're talking sales. Again, we're talking business. I'm not talking a conversation you're having with your Betty. This is, this is for my business page, the traveling button. Sarah is a completely different entity than the traveling button. I'm the same person. But I mean, my sensitive side, I'm not trying to like barf all over you guys and cry on my business page, I'm just there for vintage.
Well, and I think that's where it's really important that you have some people that are close to you that also are part of this community that go through very similar things with you, and you have someone that you can trust, that you can share things with in a private way.
Right. Right. And not everybody has that. And, you
No.
know, I understand that too. That's why a lot of people do take to the internet, because they don't have, you know, a support or someone they can bounce things off of at home. And I get that, like 100%.
This was a tough talk, but it did need to be. I think that, you see, that's what I really wanting Vintage Rescue Squad to be. We're rescuing vintage, but we're also rescuing our sanity
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah.
And you know, bringing this sense of community and knowing that not everybody isn't going to get along. Not everybody, you know, is gonna do things the same way.
Yeah.
But basically making sure that you're paying attention to people's rules and shop policies. And if you are having live sales, or if you're having, this could go for eBay too. If you are an eBay seller, you still need to have shop policies. What are your policies? Do you accept returns? Do you not? I mean, you still need to have a basic shop policy plan in mind. But I think that go ahead, Daniel.
You will.
Daniel, you may speak.
You will learn. Yes, Misty. Thank you. I appreciate your kindness and your support on letting me speak.
You are so welcome. I'm a something.
I know that Misty Pate, she is such a mean one, Daniel. I'm so sorry.
Mean Misty. That horrible Misty. That's what they say on Jeffrey's video. That horrible Misty's in your video again.
Oh,
She's
snap.
the type of person that I love, the horrible Misty.
Oh, I love you.
I love the
Poshy
horrible
Pate,
Misty. So
Catherine.
here you go, people. I love horrible Misty and bad Misty and happy Misty and good Misty.
You've seen them all.
Okay, so what I was going to say about shop policies, you will learn as a newer reseller, you will have to have them, because I didn't have them. I did of course, I was only doing one sale a week. As I ventured into this, you're going to have them. And you're also going to have to remember to put them in your description. I might be a last minute person when I get my stuff put in, like with StreamYard and everything. So it might be more of, oh, there's their link, and I ain't got time to do the other stuff because we're about to go live. I mean, sometimes I forget what I'm doing because I've been concentrating on other stuff. But you will, the best thing to do is go to your favorite resellers and Instagram people and look at their policies and go off of that and do your own wording.
Create your own. And maybe take a little bit of this one and a little bit of that one and a little bit of this one, a little bit of that one, to make it work for you.
But you will have to have them. I mean, you will have to draw lines in the sand, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You guys, I think this was another really amazing conversation. I am so excited and happy that I saw so many of you so engaged in the chat. It was difficult to try to keep up. That was so good. I really hope that everybody down there had a good time this evening. Obviously, we're past our 2-hour mark, but you know what? I think it was well worth it. I really cannot thank you, Daniel, enough. Sarah, I cannot thank you enough. Misty, girl, it is always a pleasure, sister friend. Everybody in the chat, you guys blew it up. I really hope that you guys had a great night. I'm seeing fantastic chat. You guys really did help us a lot too. Please just make sure that you know that.
Absolutely.
This is one where I'm like, I gotta go back and like read the comments, because
and I
know.
appreciate that feedback.
Amen.
Yeah.
I have to go back and watch this so I can read the comments.
Right. Same. I know. I tried to keep up, but my eyes are like,
Well, and just know that this is what Vintage Rescue Squad. I mean, I always wanted it to be to where it's everybody in the chat is talking. We're all talking. There's 4 people up here talking, but everybody's learning from everybody in the chat as well. Next week on my channel, we're going to have Katie from Vintage and Vinyl on, and Patrick from Trusty Huckster Mercantile. So it's going to be another really good and candid and real and genuine and open conversation.
That was what I watched you guys last week with Jeffrey and was her name Sarah also?
Yes.
And I loved it. I loved last week. It was so good. So if you guys haven't watched last week's too, really like candid, good info.
Yeah.
Real talk.
And thank you guys out there. Thank you, Michael, for pushing it, and all of you. But thank you in the chat for getting me to 1,000. And also, I've seen some of the most kindest words to me in the chat. I know that I did see them. You tickle my little tiny heart. I appreciate it greatly.
Yeah. I'm so happy for you, Daniel. It just makes me so happy.
Congratulations.
Party coming. Just I'll let you know when.
Caftan party coming. He's got to go. He got to go DM Dolores like right away and let her know.
It's happening.
So Sarah, Daniel, when can we catch you guys next? Like Instagram, YouTube. What's cooking for you guys this week?
Oh, what is today? This is Monday.
Monday, yeah.
Okay. So I have a sale tomorrow night on where am I? Not YouTube, on Instagram. I am on Instagram tomorrow night with Atomic Seller Liz. Really fun mid-century stuff. So come check it out. And real quickly, just a plug. If you feel like this is for you and you want to sell on Instagram, vintage, hit me up. I'm the Vintage Shop Coach over on Instagram. And I love to work with new people that need guidance. So yes, let me know if an Insta shop is something you feel like you want to dive off into. Let's do it. Hit me up.
Yep. You're going to get a lot of good information.
You will.
She's going to let you in on that what she does to cast spells to get people's full addresses from their zip codes.
Misty, I got you. I'm Misty. Just wait.
Girl.
Wait.
Daniel, what about you?
I want that skill. I want that magic.
You've got it. You've got it already. That's the best part.
I'm just going to say, coming from Misty's point of view, it's going to be hard because I still write all my stuff down on little cards. I have a Rolodex, basically, that I'm old school. I have to have those. And because Sarah's taught me the witchy ways. I know the witchy ways, but I still have resorted back to doing my cards thing. Sorry, Sarah.
I do love I used to keep an address book too, Daniel. Honestly, I did.
Oh, God, no.
It's a paper pen thing. I'm sorry. I'm old, Sarah. I am old, and I want my old ways.
And you need your paper, and I can appreciate that.
I carry 2 notebooks with me at all times so I can write everything down.
So Daniel, when can we catch you next, Bub? What are you doing next?
Michael's like, let's finish this. We gotta go.
Pumpkin time.
Tomorrow, Barbie from Funk and Junk and I always have a Tuesday sale.
Yep.
It's called Tacky and Junk, and we alternate between channels, and it will be on Barbie's channel tomorrow. We do mornings. We're a morning person here, even though we're not a morning person, if you know what I mean.
Well,
I love Barbie. She's so cool.
You gotta find a time on the schedule at some point.
No, it will be on her channel, Punk and Junk Barbie. You have to put Barbie at the end of it to find it, because there's another one out there that's not hers. And then I always do Tacky Like Sunday morning. But Wednesday, whoops, wrong way, wherever you're at, I'm going to be on with Amy and Sarah, and I am horrible. It took me forever to get Misty's name remembered. Amy's is Pop and Rock Shop.
Amy's Rock and Pop Shop.
Thank you.
Yes. And we will be going from her channel Wednesday. Daniel will be our guest.
Yes.
And we are going to have a live sale here on YouTube. It's called Wicked Good Vintage, and it's always a good time. Amy will bring her fabulous dollies. Daniel's bringing fire, and so am I. So check us out on Wednesday on Amy's Rock and Pop Shop channel. She just commented just
There she
now.
is.
So go
Sorry,
send
Amy,
to
I
her.
love you, but it takes me a while.
Think about pop rocks, but then switch it around.
Yes,
Every
Amy's
Sunday
rocking
that
up.
I talk about this, Dolores always has to put in what it is because I'm like, I had it written down, now I lost the paper.
Lord.
Exactly,
That's why we
Michael.
don't need paper, Daniel.
Exactly.
That's why we don't need paper.
I'm sorry, guys. And Misty Lady, what about you?
Well, we have a sale tomorrow, Michael.
That we do, don't we?
You. We have a sale tomorrow at 1:00 on my channel, 1:00 Eastern Standard Time. And I think, what are we doing? 20 things each?
We're doing 20. Yes.
20 things each. And then,
That's because of me. Michael has to know his limitations. And
yes.
Guys,
And then immediately after, when Michael and I are done around 4:00, then my daughter Emma will come on, and Emma and I will sell an extra 10 items each.
Is that on YouTube or Insta? Will you guys do it
YouTube.
on Insta? YouTube? Okay.
YouTube. That way I don't have to, I
Yeah.
don't have to do anything. I'm just right there. I
I
don't
just
have to move.
want to remind
turn.
you two up there that you did make a commitment that if I reached 1,000, you would both be dressing up tomorrow. Remember,
Okay,
Misty?
yeah.
Remember, Misty?
They're like,
Remind me,
no, we
Daniel.
didn't say that.
Remind me, Daniel.
I'm reminding you because you know people will come after you tomorrow going, hey, why aren't you dressed
Listen,
up?
I always have a costume nearby. I can pull a costume somewhere.
Just put your head in
Misty's
Liberace.
Superwoman.
I keep mine by the bed. Just
Oh, I don't do that.
I don't doubt it, Michael.
I just pull one
Don't
out.
doubt it one bit, darling.
Mm.
Oh, I love you guys.
Oh
Thank
my
you guys
gosh.
so much.
You guys, thank you so much for being here as always. Thank you everybody for watching. Amazing conversation. Don't forget, Vintage Rescue Squad is going to be back next week on Misty's channel, Thrifter Junker Vintage Hunter. Same time, different channel. And we are going to be having Patrick from Trusty Huckster Mercantile and Katie from Katie Vintage and Vinyl. Make sure you check us out. Don't forget, Sarah and Daniel and Misty's Instagram and YouTube links have been direct linked in the description down below. Is all you have to do, if you haven't already, is click that link. Make sure you hit subscribe or follow. It's free. We would all appreciate it.
Yvonne, Mark and I are wanting to plan a trip to Colorado so we can see Sarah, we can see Yvonne.
It's happening, girl. We're doing this. I cannot wait. We will have so much fun.
We're
You
looking
just
into
wait.
it.
Just plan it and let me know when you're coming, and I will make myself available.
Okay,
So,
we're looking
I'm
into
going
it.
to, just saying.
Yes.
On your ass, Michael.
Can I come?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
everybody's invited. Come on to Colorado.
We're all going to go to Sarah. Move out of the way, puppy dogs. We're all coming to your house.
Okay, I'll make room. I'll move all the things. Just give me some dates.
Okay.
Oh my God. All right, everybody. Y'all have a good night and thank you. We'll see you around one way or the other.
Good night,
Good night,
guys.
everyone.
Thanks for having us, Michael.
Thank you for being here.